Can you please look up this site?
See if we can figure out something.
Hiya, Dark Cloud. And Lilith. How are you guys doing? Dark Cloud, are you affected by the outage? Give me 1 sec. I just want to unplug the electric blanket. Hey, Mal. Hey, Lisa. I've just been watching live coverage on the global tech outage. I am not affected at all. However, should YouTube use what is that thing called? Should YouTube use Windows, I could be affected in my day job and in this. Okay, before we get started on Oscar, I just need to say I have quite a lot of work and I have a call. So I'm going to put it on this small laptop here. And I'm going to have to put on, I'll sort all the hearts and everything. I'll sort that out in a minute. I just want to get this thing started up. I'll put on moderation in the comments. So if it deletes your comment and you're like, why? It's probably not the mods, it's probably YouTube. Oh gosh, Thailand's been hit pretty hard too. I also, if you want to check out the coolest airport in the world, I went to Changi Airport in, I don't know if I said that right now, in Singapore. I did a vlog on it. Oh, I have to get back there and Vaughan has to experience it. Anyway, it's massive and it's a big transition airport. They're offline, they're down. So that is quite a, tech outage everywhere. It's a big problem. Big problem. They tried to update something and it broke. The security people who tried to update on the security, that's what they do. They tried to update on Microsoft. I'm just looking here, sorry, just a minute. Does anyone remember what the last thing was that we heard in Oscar? Yeah, so they tried to roll out an update. It was a security update. As far as I know, they're still trying to figure it out. Basically, it caused Microsoft computers mostly to crash, and airlines use them, and train systems use them. The biggest places affected right now are Australia and the UK and Europe. Then the other thing is like payment systems. Whatever you can think of that is connected to technology right now is not having a good time, unless they're using Apple or Linux, which I could swear my whole life I've said Linux, and I've just been listening to Sky for about 2 hours maybe, and they've been saying Linux. So now I'm questioning my life. My life, really? But dramatic fix. Okay, I'm going to put on this day, which is where YouTube history says we're at. However, as I previously mentioned, my YouTube history has not been... Why? just drop the captions there. My YouTube history has not been playing nicely on laptops. So we might need to skip, and I'm still around for a bit. Yes, NHS. I forgot about this. NHS. Mel, if you can, try not to log into banking. Try not to do anything that is cybersecurity related until they figure out if it is cybersecurity related or not, because you just don't want to have yourself, oh, wrong keyboard now. You just don't want to have yourself caught up in the mess. Fell asleep to cricket bat. I feel like they spoke about the cricket bat so many times. All right, let's start. I said I'm going to be around, but I actually do want to go grab a pizza from the freezer, which is outside the house. Okay, let me not confuse myself with the computers here.
Hier is nog steeds onder eten die waarheid te praten. Nee.
Is recht.
That is correct, my lady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
May it please the court, lady. Colonel, I would like to refer you to photo 111 in Exhibit D in front of you, please.
Meneer, ik zou u graag naar foto 111 verwijzen. En dat is de bier. Op die foto aanvoeren.
Breaking news, literally breaking. YouTube just crashed. I'm going to play on this computer and see how far we can get, but on my main computer, it's gone. Can't. It just said, oops, something went wrong.
Also look at the screen if you...
Kijk naar die scherm hier.
You already testified yesterday that that window was open.
Ik heb hier gister gezegd dat hij venster open geweest is, nee.
Dit is recht hier.
That is correct, my lady.
Did you investigate that open window?
Het u die open venster andersom?
Dit is recht hier. Ek het gekyk of daar enige false entry, iemand wat probeer het inkom in die vensterraam probeer beskadig is.
Okay. My lady, I did check just to see as to whether there was any false entry, as the witness says it in English, or whether somebody tampered with the window. Wat nog?
Eers ek het ook self by die venster uitgekyk
I also looked out the window,
om seker te maak of daar enige manier van buitekant is dat iemand kon deur die venster kom.
just to ascertain as to whether there was any means in which somebody from outside could have gained entry through that window.
Die venster, die vlak is hoog, is op die eerste vlak en daar was geen manier dat iemand onder sonder met die hulp van 'n leer by die venster sou kon inkom.
The level is high, my ladies, on the first floor, and there was no other means in which somebody could have gained access into the house through that window.
Daar was ook geen merke of enige iets teen die leer wat teen die muur wat gestaan het wat kon aandui dat iemand ingekom het.
And there weren't any other objects or something that might have indicated that somebody could have used in gaining entry through the said window.
In that same album, you could page to photo 168.
In diezelfde album, kijk naar foto nummer 168.
Is that the bathroom window one can see there on the first?
Is daar die badkamerse venster wat mensen kunnen zien?
Dit is reg hier.
Of the house.
and
The
that
one
would-
that is depicted on the picture.
And that's what you saw today.
Is dat wat meneer hier er ook daar gezien heeft?
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
Then, sir, we were at photograph 119.
Hier was mijn foto nummer 119.
119.
119.
When we adjourned yesterday,
Toen ons gister vandaag het.
if we turn to photograph 120,
Gaan naar nummer 120 toe. Yes, sir.
Ek het hom, dankie.
is that what you saw today?
Is dat wat meneer hier er ook daar gezien heeft?
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
And that panel in front of you,
En die paneel voor u,
should you identify it?
kan je dit identificeren?
Dit is reg hier dat die paneel was so gewees
That is correct, my lady. The panel was in this manner.
en op 'n later stadium toe ons die panele opgetel het op die toneel,
And at a later stage, when we picked up these panels at the scene,
was daar menslike weefsel. Ek dink dit my afleiding was geweest, maar van die kopwond.
there was human tissue. In my opinion, my lady, it could have been tissue from the head.
Aan die onderkant van die paneel. So dit wil sê, soos die paneel so lê, die gedeelte waar die paneel op die grond is.
Underneath the panel. The panel underneath, on which the panel is lying.
Now, if one has a look at photograph 120 on the wall on the right-hand side of the photograph,
Meneer, as je naar foto
Those
nummer
blood
1
marks were there?
Oké, aan die muur, aan die rechterkant.
you see that?
Zie je dat?
Ja,
And that was there today.
Het
dit
was
was
daar,
Dit was
die
daar.
betrokken dag. Yes, het was die.
If we turn the page to photograph
Draai die
121,
Naar 1, 2, 1, 2.
that's a close-up of those
Dis
marks
die,
on
dis
the
'n nader foto hier.
Dat is correct, my lady. This is a close-up photo.
122.
1, 2, 2.
That indicates the toilet.
Dat bewijst die toilet, nee.
Dit is reg hier.
Dat is correct, my lady.
Do you remember that being in the exact same condition when you were there first on the scene?
U onthoudt dat het in diezelfde conditie geweest dat op die betrokken dag toen we die toilet geweest.
Dit is reg hier.
Dat is correct, my lady. That's how I found the toilet.
The damage to the wall behind the toilet. did you
En die
see that?
beschadiging achter die muur van die toilet, zie je dat?
Dit is reg hier. Dit is die beskadiging van die projektiel van die patrone wat hier gegaan het.
That is correct, my lady. That is the damage which was caused by the projector which went through.
Photograph 123.
1, 2, 3.
That magazine rack. Can you remember that being in that?
Die
exact-
boeken zie je dat? Onthou je dat het in die toilet geweest is?
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
124.
1, 2, 4.
Did you look inside the toilet?
Heb je binnen die toilet gekeken?
Ja, ek het binne in die toilet gegaan.
Yes, my lady, I did look inside the toilet.
Then, Colonel, the close-up of photographs that's not that important now. If you would turn to photograph 132,
Draai naar foto nummer 1, 3, 2, 2. Yes, sir.
you have already confirmed that that was a position that the body was in when you arrived at the scene.
Meneer, die daar reeds aan gedacht dat het die positie geweest is waar die lijk aan geweest is. Die dacht die op die toneel gaan keren.
Dit is reg hier.
Dat is correct, my lady.
The same with 133.
En diezelfde is soos 1, 3, 3.
Dit is reg hier.
Dat is correct, my lady.
134 as
1,
well.
3, 4. Diezelfde.
Dit is reg hier.
Dat is correct, my lady.
There's in 135, it's a close-up of the deceased head.
Op foto nummer 1, 3, 5 is een nadere foto van die oorledene se kop, nee.
Dit is reg hier.
Dat is correct, my lady.
Is that what you saw?
Is dat wat jy gesien het?
Dis wat ek waargeneem het eerder.
That's what I observed, my lady. What I saw.
The same with photograph 136.
En diezelfde geldt met foto nummer 1, 3, 6.
Dit is reg hier.
Dat is correct, my lady.
And 137.
En 1, 3, 7.
Dit is so.
Dat is so, my lady.
Is that the head wound of?
Is het nou
Dit
die
is
kopwond?
dis die kopwond.
That is the head wound, my lady, of the deceased.
We'll just go through it for completeness sake. 138, you also confirmed.
Gaan die heer dat 1, 3, 8 bevestig hier dat ook?
Dit is so.
Dit is so?
Vind dit?
That's how I found the head to be.
139.
1, 3, 9.
Dit is reg hier.
Dat is correct, my lady.
Same with 140.
Dat geldt ook voor 1, 4, 4, 0.
Dit is reg hier.
Dat is correct.
141 is a close-up of the
1, 4, 1 is een nadere
closed
foto
eye.
aan die oog. Wat toe is?
Dit is reg hier.
Dat is correct.
Now, in 142,
1, 4, 2.
did you see that one?
Heb je dat gewoon gezien?
1 vir 2. Ja, ek het hom gesien.
Yes,
Regterarm.
I saw this wound on the right lumbar,
Oh,
on the arm, yes.
143 is
1, 4, 3.
a close-up of that one.
Er
Now,
staat een nadere foto van diezelfde wound.
144, can you remember having seen that one?
Onthou je dat die wound gezien hebt op 1, 4, 4?
Nee, hierdie wond hier.
No, not this wound, my lady.
Okay. Then on 150,
51?
Nee, ek het ook nie hierdie foto's.
No, my lady, I also didn't see this photo
okay,
Nou die beserings.
or this injury.
that's fine. Let us turn to photo 155.
Kom ons bly om na foto 1, 5.
That's a photograph of the accused
Dat is die beskuldigde se foto, nee.
Where was that taken?
Waar was die foto geneem?
Eerder ja, dis 'n foto van die beskuldigde.
Yes, my lady, dat is the photo of the accused. En waar was het geneem?
Hierdie foto is geneem nadat die beskuldigde van die kombuis geskuif is na die garage toe.
This photo was taken after the accused was shifted from the kitchen to the garage.
Now, on that photo, the accused had no shirt on,
En die foto het in die hemp aan, nee.
Dit is reg.
Dat is correct.
and that's how you found him today.
En dis hoe jy hom op die betrokke dag gevind het.
Ek het hom gevind met sonder hemp,
I found him without a shirt.
met die kortbroek aan,
With the shorts on,
met sy kunsbeen aan.
with his artificial lumps on.
Maar daar was meer bloed aan sy voorkant van sy lyf.
But there was more blood on the front part of his body.
If one have a look at 157,
Kijk naar foto 157.
can you remember the blood there?
Want hoe die bloed wat daar geweest het.
Dit is reg eerlik.
Dit is correct, my lady.
Die hoeveelheid bloed wat basies hier in die linkerarm van hom verskyn, is 'n vergelyking wat op die voorkant van hom was.
The amount of blood which is depicted on his body as on the photo was as much as the same amount which was on the front part of his body.
Ek sal nie sê die hoeveelheid nie, ek sal sê die verskynsel, die appearance.
I would say the appearance, not actually
En,
the amount, my lady.
Now, Colonel, after you've gone through the scene on the first floor, what did you do then?
Toen u nou die toneel op die eerste verdieping gezien hebt, wat heeft u gedaan?
eerder, ek het weer afgegaan na die kombuis toe waar die beskuldigde was.
You was by proceeded to the kitchen once more where the accused was.
Ek het aan die beskuldigde gevra of hulle alleen in die huis was.
I asked the accused as to whether they were alone inside the house.
Ek het vir hom, hy het my geantwoord en gesê ja, hulle was alleen.
He responded by saying yes, they were alone.
Ek het vir hom gesê in lig van dit wat ek bo gesien het,
I told him that in light of what I saw at the top,
verwysing na die misdaadtoneel,
referring to the crime scene,
dat ek hom op daai stadium as 'n verdagte beskou.
that I take him or I observe him as a suspect at that stage.
Ek het hom volgens regtersreëls gewaarsku
I warned him according to his rights or the judge's rules,
met die verskil dat ek vir hom gesê het ek arresteer hom nog nie.
with the difference that I said to him that I wasn't arresting him at that stage.
Hoekom op daai stadium ek hom dit gedoen het, julle is die rede van daar is nog inligting wat opgevolg moet word.
The reason why I did that at that stage, my lady, was because there were still some information which had to be followed up,
En om doodseker te maak dat ek die regte feite het,
and to make quite sure that I was in possession of the right facts
voordat ek hom arresteer,
before I could arrest him.
het ek hom versoek dat hy teenwoordig moet bly op die toneel.
I requested him to remain present at all times at the scene.
This discussion with the accused, where did that take place?
Die bespreking tussen die beskuldigde, waar dat gebeur.
Dit het in die kombuis plaasgevind.
It transpired inside the kitchen, my lady.
Was the accused moved from the kitchen area?
Waar die beskuldigde geskryf van die kombuisarea.
Op daai stadium met die gesprek was hy nog in die kombuis en
At that stage we were still conversing with each other. He was still inside the kitchen.
Nadat ek hom gewaarsku het ons hom geskuif na die motorhuis.
But after I warned him, my lady, that's when we shifted him to the garage.
Did anyone have access to the accused?
Het enige ene toegang tot by die beskuldigde gehad.
Op daardie stadium julle was soos ek gister gekyk het, meneer Stander en mevrou Stander,
Okay. At that stage, as I testified yesterday, Your Worship, Mr. Stander as well as Ms. Stander
het toegang tot die beskuldigde gehad.
were the persons who had access to the accused.
Die beskuldigde se broer, meneer Pistorius,
The accused brother, Mr. Pistorius,
het ook op die toneel aangekom.
also arrived at the scene,
Dis al wat toegang tot hom gehad het op daai
and
stadium.
they were the only persons who had access to him at that stage.
Anybody else have access to the accused?
Is daar enige iemand anders wat
Later?
na hom toe gehad het, behalve die persone wat hy alreeds genoem het?
Nadat ek die beskuldigde se regtersreëls gewaarsku het julle,
After I explained the accused rights to him, according to the judge's rules, my lady,
het ek is nie seker of die beskuldigde en of sy broer die prokureur geskakel.
I'm not sure as to whether the accused or his brother phoned a lawyer.
Maar net daarna het die regsverteenwoordiger meneer Olwag
But just after that call was made, that's when the attorney arrived at the scene.
So did you meet Mr. Aldrich on the scene?
Het hij van meneer Albertine op die toneel ontmoet?
Dis reg. Ja.
Dat is correct, was my lady I did.
The official photographer in this matter, who was that?
Wie was die ambtelijke fotograaf van die staat hier?
Dit is adjutant-offisier van Stadium. Ja,
It was a warrant officer. Sergeant of wie is het?
van Stadium.
Van Staren.
Were you there when he arrived on the scene?
As die?
Were you on the scene when
Was meneer op die
arrived?
toneel toe hulle daar aangekomen?
Ja, ek was toe die graad opgetree was ek opgetree.
I was present at the scene when the photographer arrived, my lady.
What happened when he arrived?
En wat er gebeurde na hulle gearriveerde?
Eerder ons het die fotograaf eers dadelik die oorledene uitgewys.
My lady, we first pointed out the deceased to the photographer,
Wat hy gefotografeer het.
then took photos of the deceased.
Adjutant-offisier Hilton Botha en
Warrant officer Hilton Botha
die fotograaf
and the photographer
het die oorledene se liggaam omgedraai
turned the deceased body over.
waar ook op foto's geneem was.
Were photos of her were also taken, my lady.
And
And toe?
Eerder het ons die fotograaf opgevat bo na die badkamer toe.
My lady, we then took the photographer to the upper level, to the bathroom.
if you say we took him up,
As
we
he
refer-
threw at ons. Wie was dat?
Dit was ek en adjutant-offisier Botha.
It was myself and Mr. Botha, warrant officer Botha.
were you only three?
Net die hele drie.
Dit was net ons drie gewees.
It was just the three of us, my lady.
And what did you do?
En wat jullie toe doen, toen jullie daar die
Eerder ons
moesten
het
verdieping
die
aankomen?
eerste instansie wys ons eers globaal die punte van die toneel.
We first pointed out the global points of the scene to him,
As ook sekere punte wat ons verlang het hy op konsentreer op die toneel.
as well as several points we wanted him to concentrate on at the scene.
En ek het op die opdrag gegee dat hy dan die toneel moet fotografeer.
I then gave him the order to photograph the scene.
And he did so.
En hy het
Toen
gedoen.
deed hij dat.
Ja.
He then did that, my lady.
Now let us just deal with it between the time that you came down on your first inspection
Dan die tijd toen hij aan toegekomen op die eerste inspectie.
and the time that you went upstairs again with one officer van Staden. Did anybody else have access to the first floor?
Tot op die stadium waar ik toe gegaan met meneer Van Staren. Het enige ene toegang gehad tot op die toneel.
Nee, eerder.
No, my lady.
And whilst one officer van Staden were busy taking photographs upstairs, did anybody else have access to the
Terwijl meneer Van Staren foto's daar boven genomen, het enige ene toegang tot die toneel gehad.
Nee, eerder. Hy was alleen besig om foto's te doen.
No, my lady, he was busy taking photos alone.
But
En op
at
die
some,
stadium, ekskuus
Yes.
tog eerder, en op die stadium het ons wel opgegaan ek en Botha om sekere goed weer op te doen.
And at some stage, both and I did proceed to the upper level. Om wat te doen?
Om seker te maak dat ons ook al die evidence wat gegather word.
Just to make sure that we also have all the evidence that was needed to be gathered, my lady.
and did any family member go upstairs?
Is daar enige familieleden wat naar boven toe gegaan het?
Die tye van die fotograaf besig was, was daar geen forensies deskundige of lid van die familie.
Okay. During the time when the photographer was busy taking photos, no forensic members or family members were present.
And at any time, did you allow somebody to go upstairs?
Is
family?
daar enige stadium waar jullie iemand toegang gegeven om naar boven toe te gaan?
Daar was later stadium toe die foto's wel klaar geneem was eerder,
There was at a later stage, after all the photos were taken, yeah,
waar die beskuldigde sy suster versoek het om klere te gaan haal.
where the accused sister requested us to go upstairs to go and fetch clothes, my lady.
Ek het adjutant-offisier van Staden geroep
I then summoned warrant officer Van Staren
om die beskuldigde sy suster te vergesel
in order to accompany the accused sister,
en om seker te maak dit wat gevat word en waar dit gevat word,
just to make sure as to what was taken and to ascertain as to from where was that taken.
maak seker dit is gedokumenteer of gefotografeer.
And to make sure that whichever she was taking was being documented or photographed.
Now, Colonel, if I could just refer you to photograph 67.
Meneer, als ik verwijs naar foto nummer 167, dan begaf u. Hier is het.
I would now like us to deal with the watches.
Kom ons praten over die false releases.
These container with a 67.
67, we've got 167.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
167. 67. 37. Yes.
The container with those watches, you saw it on the morning when you entered the scene first.
Hier, die weet was die ouers van die parsoulus die oggend toe die daar gekom het te sien nie.
Dit is reg hier, die foto eintlik as hier op die linkerkantshoek is daar nog 'n dis net so uitsny, en linker onderkantshoek was daar nog 'n horlosie.
That is correct, my lady. If one sees what this picture ends on the left hand side of this picture, which wasn't taken in full, there were also other horloges,
Ja.
other watches as
In
well.
totaal was daar 8 horlosies.
In total, 8 watches.
Now, do you know what happened to the watches?
Weet jy wat van die horloges geword het?
Die hele rede van ervaring en elke ding. Die eerste stadium toe ons opstap en die deel deur gegaan het ek hierdie horlosies waargeneem.
Wat gedoen?
Opgestap het in die vertrek by die main bedroom.
My lady, upon arrival, when we arrived there, when I was proceeding to the main bedroom, yeah,
Ek het hierdie horlosies gesien
I saw these watches.
en vir myself gesê dit is tempting for any person because this is expensive watches.
I then told myself that those watches were tempting to ask any other person, seeing that they were expensive watches.
Met die opgaan en die uitwys van die toneel aan die fotograaf,
When we were proceeding to the upper level, pointing out the things to the photographer,
het ek hierdie mening van my aan hom gelig en vir hom gesê ek soek asseblief foto's van hierdie horlosies
I then asked him, telling him that I need pictures of these watches,
en dat hy moet seker maak dat hulle terwyl hy op die toneel is na die horlosies gekyk word en dop.
and I told him to make sure that he keeps an eye on this over these watches.
Soos jy sou sien julle aan die lid van hierdie houer, horlosiehouer,
As you can see, my lady, on the container of these watches, on the lid of the container,
is daar bloedsmeersels.
there are blood smears on the lid of the container.
Ons kon nie die horlosies die boks verwyder. Daar was ook spatsels op van die horlosies, bloedspatsels op van die horlosies.
As a result of these blood smears, we couldn't remove that box from there because there were even droplets of blood or splatters of blood on these watches.
So in alle tye tot ons die toneel klaar gedoen het, kon ons die horlosies verwyder.
So at all times, as soon as we were done with whatever we were doing there, then we would have removed those watches from where it was.
And at a stage, you saw this container of watches again.
As I started wat die horlosies weer gesien het.
Deur die loop van die oggend het ons op en af beweeg. Op 'n
We were moving up and down during that morning session, my lady. Yeah, op 'n stadium.
op 'n stadium nadat die beskuldigde gearresteer is en weggevoer is van die
At some stage, after the accused was arrested and taken away from the scene,
ek het agtergekom dat dit die forensiese span nie weer baie rond beweeg op die onderste vloer.
when I realized that the forensic team were not that very busy like they were initially, my lady, on the ground floor. And two,
Het ek opgestap na die eerste vloer toe,
I proceeded to the first floor,
na die hoofslaapkamer.
to the main bedroom.
Met die inkoms in die hoofslaapkamer het ek die forensiese span in die hoofslaapkamer gevind.
Upon entering the main bedroom, I found the forensic team inside the main bedroom.
Die hele was besig om opname te maak in beplanning in terme van
They were busy with investigations and planning inside the main bedroom,
om te bepaal wat nog gedoen moet word en
just to ascertain as to what was supposed to be done again,
wie is verantwoordelik vir watter aspek van die
and
ondersoek.
as to who was responsible for what or which aspect.
Dit was gedoen oorspronklik op my instruksie, Here,
That was originally done on my instructions, my lady.
want gedurende die oggend het ek die opdrag gegee dat ek die span bymekaar wil hê
Okay. Because in the morning, I gave instructions that I needed a team together
en dat ons moet besin hoe die ondersoek verder hanteer moet.
and that we should discuss as to how the investigations should be carried out.
Hulle het egter besluit, omrede ek besig was met ander aspekte soos die media
And they decided that seeing that I was busy with other aspects, including the media,
en ander verpligtinge,
as well as other duties,
om self bymekaar te kom en dit te bespreek.
just to come together on their own and discuss whatever was supposed to be done.
Toe ek die vertrek binnekom, het adjutant-offisier van Staden 'n opmerking gemaak,
When I entered the room, that's when warrant officer van Staren made a remark.
waar hy verskoning gemaak het en gesê dat reeds begin sonder dat ek teenwoordig was.
He made an apology or apologized by informing me that they had already started in my absence.
Ek is kortliks ingelig wat die bespreking behels het en wat is die plan.
I was shortly informed as to what the discussion was all about and what the plannings were.
En ek was tevrede wat hulle besluit het.
I was satisfied about the decision they took.
Hier op daai stadium met my rug na hierdie betrokke horlosie houer gestaan.
At that stage, I was standing with my back turned to towards the watches.
Ek was in die amper sê in die deur van die ek was basies in die deur van die hoofslaapkamer.
I was basically standing in the doorway of the main bedroom.
Ekskuus, ek weet nie of daar 'n nader is. Ek het vinnig kyk of daar.
I'm sorry, my lady, I just want to check as to whether there isn't a photo in the album which can indicate. Wat behels dit?
As jy nou kyk op foto 60,
If you look at photo number 60 on the album,
as jy kyk ongeveer in die middel van die foto,
if you look right in the middle of the photo,
jy sal sien die boks is die horlosieboks is op 'n luidspreker.
one can see that the watch box or the box containing the watches is on top of the loudspeaker.
Nou ek het in die voorkant berig na die bed se kant toe. Ek het
I was standing in front of that loudspeaker towards the bed with my back turned towards that container, my lady.
eerlik ek het omgedraai om nadat ons die spreker gedoen het om ons die vertrek te verlaat.
My lady, I turned around to leave the bedroom after our discussion
Ons op daai stadium het ons besluit ons gaan die toneel sluit
because at that stage we had decided that we were going to lock up the premises
want die bloedanalis luitenant-kolonel van der Nest was nie beskikbaar vir die dag
because by then the blood analyst, Colonel van
van der Nest.
der Nest was not available on that day.
Met die omdraaiele het ek na die boks gekyk, na die horlosieboks gekyk.
When I turned around, my lady, I looked at the box containing the watches.
On the left bottom corner.
She says on the left bottom corner, gaan meneer nou oorsit na Engels toe?
Ja.
Of bly nou Engels lees in
Ek
Afrikaans?
sal oorskry Engels.
My lady, I'll now switch to English because I was asking him, I just wanted him to be clear as to whether he decides to testify in Afrikaans or in English in order to make the proceedings much easier to be followed. Now the witness informs me that he wishes to switch in English. As a result, can I be excused provisionally, my lady?
Yes, you may take a seat.
As a conclusion.
Thank you.
My lady, the left bottom corner, the watch on the left bottom corner was missing. If one would look, this is the one that is now being indicated on the screen. And I turn around and I ask Warrant Officer van Staden, do you know anything about this watch? He told me that when the accused sister came up, she requested that she want to take one of the watches. And she took that particular watch. All the other ones, 7 watches, were still in place. The watch on the right, if you're looking on the right top corner, the one with the green, I was looking particularly to all those watches, and I then mentioned again to all the whole forensic team that this watches is a big concern of mine because it's expensive. They must look after this thing. And then one of the forensic experts at the back, I don't know who mentioned it that this particular watch, this green and black one on the top right-hand corner, was the value between 50 and 100,000 rand. And then I say, you see what I mean? We have to look after the property in this house. This is expensive property. So we left the room. I've exited the room first, and then the rest was followed. Some stay behind to clean up and to fetch all the things to go down. So I went down to the garage. While we were all packing up and getting our things ready to leave, Warrant Officer van Staden came into the garage, and he mentioned that one of these watches is missing. And I said, what do you mean? What other watch? There's one missing because you handed over. He said, no, there's another one that is missing. I said, but I can't believe it. We were just there. How can this watch be gone? Immediately, I give the instruction that everybody had to come to the garage. We body search everyone. We search all the bags, each and every forensic expert had on his possession. We searched the whole house through again back to the main bedroom. We even searched the vehicles of all the forensic experts on the scene without giving anyone permission to leave. We couldn't find the watch.
Did you open a docket?
Did anyone hear where? I think I heard in the beginning the watches were on a shelf. Is that right? If so, that's very weird to me because Oscar was so paranoid, but he kept these watches not in a safe. That's a bit weird. Psychosaurus, it is a messaging app, essentially. It's much like Telegram, Signal, but you can have groups, and you can have usernames, so it's less linked to your personal details. There's no phone number. How else can I describe it? Yeah, I guess it's basically like it's like if MySpace were to have chat rooms, that's what it would be like. Also, yes, I freaking love pizza. I love pizza so freaking much. Hey, Jay Jones. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's strange that he didn't have them in a safe. That's weird to me.
As far as what is concerned.
My lady, I personally opened a case docket of theft, of missing of this particular watch. I also was the A1 in the case docket. It was handed over to the Provincial Commissioner's Office to appoint a different investigation officer, which is currently now still being under investigation.
Now, did you inform the accused about this watch?
My lady, when I visited the accused, I first told him that he must remember he's a celebrity. There's a lot of memorial and stuff that people wants to take and wants to possess because he's a celebrity. And I said to him, please, it's difficult for a scene like this. We don't know what is in cupboards. We don't know what is in drawers. If he found anything that is missing, that he must report it to me. And I give him the promise that if I found anything, that I will take action against it. I reported this to the forensic team. Everybody knows about it. I reported to my commander structure and also to the accused. The case docket, later on, Captain van Aert gave permission that the watches can be handed back, the rest of the watches, because after the blood analysis was done by Colonel van der Nest, who was there the following day, he seized the box. None of the forensic experts on the scene seized the box. He seized the box and he handed in for fingerprints and forensics analysis. So none of the forensic experts, not even me, handled the box concerning the theft of the theft case. Then Captain van Aert gave permission that I can hand it over the six watches that was left. Again, I didn't contact them. The accused brother, Mr. Pistorius, phoned me. I didn't know if Captain van Aert arranged it with them, but he phoned me and he requested that he can come and take the watches over from me. Then I said, no, I will not hand it over to you. I will hand it over to the owner of the watches. That will be the accused. So arrangements has been made that I meet the accused, and I handed the six watches over to the accused without the box. The box was still for analysis on the case. During that handing over session, I again informed the accused, please, if there's anything else that they're missing, they must report it.
Was anything else reported to you as being missing?
My lady, up to now, no, nothing else was reported stolen to me.
To you. Perhaps we skipped one step. When this happened, the meeting upstairs, the realization that there was a watch missing, where was the accused?
The accused was already been transferred to first to the police station and then from there to the doctor for medical examination.
Now, you indicated earlier that you explained his rights to him, asked him to remain on the scene and not leave the scene. Was he arrested at any stage?
Eerder nadat met die verloop van die ondersoek sorry, let me just go back to this. After while we was busy with gathering the evidence, as information comes through and evidence that's been gathered, it became clear to me that we have a case, a prima facie case against the accused. So I went to him in the presence of his lawyer, Mr. Revolved, that was present, and then I arrested him and I again warned him of his rights. And to be honest with you, Mr. Olwagen mentioned to me, sorry, Colonel, you doesn't mention the part of the judge's rules that his attorney can be present. And then I said, thank you for reminding me, but previously I did that. So then he was arrested and he was taken by two detective members of mine to the police station.
Okay. Now, on day one at the scene, is there any itinerary made of everything that was on the scene?
There was no, my lady, there was no itinerary made. In a crime scene, normally the person, as a forensic expert, he gathered the evidence and he packed it and he sealed it, and that evidence packing and sealed and confiscation is being indicated in his statements and also in his testimony. So in normal circumstances, we do not make itenary. Actually, the instructions say we don't have to actually do that.
Yes,
Not saying
what
we
do you
don't
mean
have to, but it's not entitled to do.
What do you mean by itinerary
Itenary? I talking about everything in the house.
or inventory? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it was called itinerary by inventory.
Oh, it's an inventory.
I've got it wrong. I apologize. I don't know where I got to that. I really do. I feel embarrassed and I apologize.
No.
Inventory, that's the
It
word I'm
happens
looking
to all of us.
The only thing that from my side, when we talk about the inventory, I'm referring to the exhibits that has been seized on the scene, and that has been documented in the specific experts and the policeman's pocketbook as well as his statements.
Now, on day one, was there any formal access control to the scene?
From the point that I arrived, the access control was implemented by me. First was me and Constable Prinsloo. And then when we move the accused out to the garage, barrier was erected that you can enter the house, but you can't go further than a certain portion of the entrance. There was a barrier erected there, and because there was no other place that we can take the accused. Otherwise, we have to take him outside. And that is why we used that passage to the garage to make sure that he's been there, because he was bare-chested. He didn't wear anything as well. But at the entrance of the garage door, one of my detectives members was standing, and then I also had access control at the main door. Later on, we further moved another barrier towards the line of the garages and to the outside building on the left-hand side of the premises to ensure. As we continue in the morning, we also make sure that access control to the scene has been limited at the gates of the estate. We have the footage and the cooperation of the estate manager to ensure that not any people can come into the estate itself, because they have to be cleared before they come to the scene. And that helps a lot of keeping the media out and as well as unnecessary people.
And the process, did it change on day two? After you've now realized there's a watch missing, what did you do?
Yes, Maledi, you can imagine if you found something is missing while you're doing and you have to rely on people and I was working with you. I was furious. So the next morning, I implemented access control. Each person entering the scene was documented. Each person exit the scene was documented, and the exhibits, things that they took out was documented. They was even each bag that they exit with was searched to make sure that nothing has been taken out. Each exhibit that they took, we made sure that the exhibit has been sealed and it has been documented.
And you have that document with you?
I have that document, definitely.
Is it this one? You kept that in your file, the original?
I've got the original in my file.
You kept the original in your file?
Yeah, I've got the original in my file.
Is that a copy of it?
I just want to quickly go through. I can just compare it?
Yeah, please do. Please do. You still have the original?
Yeah, I got the original.
Yeah, please do.
Because I'm not sure of all the pages, how many pages. Marita, this is a true copy except for the back part of movement register at the back.
The
That
movement
has been,
register.
maybe
that's
they
not-
type it later on, but that was not
Okay.
part. of the
Let's
copy.
remove that. Fine. Can remove that. The movement register. I then beg leave to hand this up as Exhibit DD. There's just one further incident we have to deal with, and that was on the scene, morning of 14 February. You have indicated that you saw the firearm lying in front of the, lying in the bathroom, is that correct?
No, that's correct.
And more particularly, as one could see it at photo 104. Is that correct?
That is correct, Malady.
You never handled that firearm,
I specifically didn't handle the firearm at all, Malady.
but you witnessed somebody handling it.
That is correct, Malady.
What happened?
Malady, after the photographer was finished in the bathroom, we allow access to the ballistic expert for the reason of the ballistics, the firearm, and the seizure of the firearm. So I was present when the firearm expert at that stage from the ballistic unit, Lieutenant Colonel Matu, was in the bathroom. I was busy talking on my cell phone, arranging and communicating with some of my superiors and also as well as Warrant Officer Botha, when I heard that the firearm has been cocked. So I turned my head to where the firearm has been cocked to see what is going on. And at that particular moment, the ballistic expert was having the firearm in his hand without gloves. He already took out the magazine was in his hand, and the firearm was in his hand. So I stopped immediately talking and I asked him, "What are you doing?" And then he turned his head to me and he was looking, and then he realized there was no hand gloves on. And then he said, "Sorry." And he put the magazine back in the firearm and he put it back on the car, on the this bathroom carpet. And then he took out his hand gloves from his pocket that was hanging out here in the breast pocket, and he put it on his hands. And then again he took the firearm and he made it safe and he continued with this. So immediately I was very angry. So immediately I turned around and I also informed Warrant Officer van Staden of what had happened, and I'm not very pleased with what I saw.
Now, when that happened in that bathroom, who else was there?
It was only me and Lieutenant Colonel Matu.
Now, what happened when you left the scene on day one, on the 14th?
Your Honor, my lady, when we finished that particular day, and each day after that as well, we secure the scene. We make sure that all the windows, doors were locked, and then we lock the front door and we seal the front door with a seal, forensic seal. Then we take the first day the keys to the house. Even the gardener, I don't know what his really occupation was there. We help him to get the food from the dog out so that we make sure there's food for the dog and everything is catered, because he was living at the back. There's a servant quarters on the right-hand side when you enter the premises. So he only had access to the outside as well as to his quarters. Everything else we lock down and we seal it. We take the keys of the house and we book it into the SCP-13 at Bosco Police Station. And the first day the keys was booked in and it was left that night. So the 14th to the 15th, the keys was left in the CSC. Right. Afterwards, when I arrived at home, I was wondering about why did I leave the key, because I didn't trust anyone at that stage. So the next day, the same thing. When we arrived at the scene, in the presence of the photographer and the person that was doing the guard duty, we posted 2 members, uniform members, as guard at the premises for a whole night during the day. So during the day, there was 2 guards at all time. The next morning, when we arrived there, with the cars that is present, we had to cut the seal, we opened the doors, and then we entered the premises. Then the seals that was been cut, we handed into the SCP-13 to make sure that it's proof. The night, the same thing. The night of the 15th, after we finished up, the keys is again handed into the SCP-13. But after it's been handed into the 13, I took possession of the keys and I signed in the SCP-13 register and I put it in my official safe in my office, which only me got the key. The next morning I came back, I took the keys out of the office safe and I went to the scene, and then the seals again was checked and it was entered. At no stage the seal was broken or tampered with. Only, I'm not sure, at that stage, I don't know if it's a Saturday or I think it's a Saturday. We had a problem regarding the seals because we started running out of the seals. But again, we paste seal man-made seals that we pasted and we can see it's been tampered with on, and to make sure that it's been covered with. And again, the members on duty as guard, they has the instruction to check. And at no stage we found that the seal was broken or been tampered with, or any report was made from any of the guards that they was tampered with the crime scene as such.
So, Colonel, you were on the scene on the 14th of February.
That is correct, my lady.
That was a Thursday.
That was the Thursday.
Were you on the scene on the 15th of February?
I was on the scene on the 15th of February as well, my lady.
The Friday. And on the 16th, Saturday.
On 16th, the Saturday, the same thing, my lady.
And on the Sunday, the 17th.
The Sunday, the 17th as well.
And you finalized the investigation on the scene on Sunday, the 17th.
That is correct, my lady.
And what did you do with the key?
There was arrangement made that we had to hand the key over to Mr. Stander, Jan Stander, the friend of the accused.
Did you do that?
So we locked the house. We didn't see it again because we leaving the scene, and I personally take the keys to Mr. Stander and I hand it over with a knowledge receipt that they received.
Good. Then, if we can focus on the door. You've already identified the door and the panels on the scene. What happened to the door?
My lady, the door, we decided on the 15th, Friday, after we received information that some of the newspapers is willing to pay between 30 and 60,000 for a photo of the door. Also, that was not the main reason, but we realized we had to do something very quick because it could happen that someone's going to take a photo. Already we had the experience of a missing watch. So we decided immediately to take down the door. Now, the door is the most valuable evidence.
Okay, if you just take it a bit slower. You decided to take down the door.
Yeah, we decided to take down. The door is the most valuable evidence exhibit on the scene because it indicated the shooting holes. The disease was behind this door when she was shot. So that was the main reason exhibit it had to be seized. But when we received the information on Friday, we decided to do it immediately. Now we had a challenge. We couldn't find anything that really fit. The door can fit in because it's a very big door, as you see. So we made arrangements that we take body bags. Now I personally drive to Bronkhorstspruit and got body bags, different sizes of the body bag, and then only the biggest body bag the door could fit in. So Lieutenant Colonel van der Merwe from forensics, as well as Warrant Officer van Staden, they took down the door. Now, before we took down the door, I asked the question, if you took down the door, can we really fit it back in the same position? And they said, that is very easy. You just take a screwdriver and you just take it off and then you can refit it again. There will not be a problem refitting and assembling it again. So they took down the door, my lady, and they also sealed it in the evidence bag with seals. When they come outside, we had a problem about the vehicle that can really fit this door into. So we had to contact a long wheelbase police vehicle to fit it in at the back. But as we're carrying this door, my lady, the loose panels of the door was shifting. And we was afraid that it's going to cut the body bag because it's a plastic body bag. Then I said to them, we have to be very careful because as soon as this panels is cutting this, then we got a problem about securing this part of evidence. So we put it in the vehicle, and the vehicle was, the constable took it to Bosco Police Station. We did in SCP-13 as exhibit. Now, on a Friday, in the station, the big exhibits is kept in the charge office. There is a temporary facility, but in this case, there was not a big place. You couldn't fit it. You would stand in the charge office in the passage. And that is where I found it when I arrived at the police station.
Still sealed.
So,
Was it still sealed when you arrived at the police?
it was still sealed. It wasn't arrived there. So I take the responsibility. Standing orders is clear. It's the responsibility of the station commander to safeguard the property as well as exhibits. So I signed for the exhibit and I took it to my office where I kept it. Now, I know someone will ask the question, why do you take it to the office? The first thing about the office is it is secure. There is security
Security gates.
gates, fences around the windows. I had the only person that had a key to the room. I also do additional insurance that I put the small policeman keys that you put into the lock. Make sure it's locked. The outside is being locked. And then it was placed in my office flat in front of my desk on the floor. With the reason not moving it as often as you would have want to be, because it can be cut with that panels. It was kept there in my office the whole weekend. The arrangement we actually did is that on the Monday, we would have Warrant Officer van Staden and the forensic expert Lieutenant Colonel Van Merwe would come and take it and hand it in at forensics. But as the things developed, on Monday we had the preparation of the bail application. Tuesday, the bail application started. The whole week we was busy. And then they only could have made it until the 28th of February. Now, during this period, this door was kept in my office. I was the only person in control of that office. No meeting was held during that period in that office. If someone come and see me, I closed the door, I locked the door, and I went to another office and have a conversation with that person. Also, not only, there was only 2 faxes on the station. One fax is in my office. Sometimes people come and they want to fax something. I took that faxes and I faxed it myself. So nobody else did tamper with that evidence. Coming to the other storerooms on the station, my 2 storerooms that I got on the station is packed to capacity. So if I move this door to that, the possibility exists that it could be cut. And then the packaging could be cut by the panels. And then it would affect the credibility of securing the exhibit.
Now, during the time between the 15th and when you handed it over to Warrant Officer van Staden, did you open that body bag?
That is correct, my lady. On the 18th, the defense requested that their forensics team wants to see the door. So in the presence of me and Warrant Officer Botha, Mr. Volmerans of the forensics of the defense, and the photographer, I can't remember now his name, we open the seal, we break the seal, as it was sealed when we received it. We open and we let it, the door stand upright, and we open as far as possible that they can see it. There were splinters, small splinters that was falling out at one corner. So I picked that splinters up with hand gloves and I put it back on the body bag, back in the body bag. And then they started taking photos. Then the request was that we had to take it out because they want to see the height of the bullets, what the holes is. And I said, no, I'm not going to take out this thing. The idea was of seizing this exhibit is to take it to a controlled environment like forensics that they can erect by an expert and that everybody can see what the height and everything, what was happening with the door. So I'm not going to take it out at all. Actually, they was agitated with me. They said, then there's no use that they come here and see this thing. So I say, sorry, that is the only allowance that I'm going to make for him to see in the door. And then we sealed the door after we sealed the bag again. And we sealed it with another seal. Unfortunately, that's that we didn't have a seal. So we was running around getting a seal eventually that each and every one was pleased with. And we sealed it with that seal. And again, the defense forensic aspect photographer also take photos of that seal. And then it was taken back into my office and again lie in front of my desk.
You kept it there until you handed it over to Warrant Officer van Staden.
I kept it there until I handed it over to Warrant Officer. One thing that my lady must remember, there was allegations. I'm not saying I say allegations, or we thought that the cricket bat was used as well. And anytime that you damage this door, there was additional damages, and then it will be difficult for the forensic aspect to determine now which damage is coming from afterwards, which damage is coming while the crime was committed. So that was another reason why we limited the movement of this exhibit.
We've come to the end of the evidence. What are you doing? You're not in the police anymore.
No, my lady, I'm not in the police anymore.
So what business are you in now?
My lady, I'm doing the thing that I love the most.
And that is?
I'm coaching.
You're coaching what? What are you coaching, Colonel?
I'm coaching sports, and sports is my life. Yeah.
I have nothing further. Right.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Rowe.
Thank you, Colonel. I'll try and summarize some of my understanding of the evidence, and please assist and indicate when I'm wrong and correct me if you will. And that is specifically relevant to access to the first floor or the top floor of the house of Mr. Pistorius. My understanding is that the first time you went up was in the presence of Warrant Officer Botha.
That is correct, my lady.
lady. I'm so sorry. Before I should have started with the questions, to give the state ample notice. We will ask the court, through the court, to call Colonel Vermeulen back, and there would be no surprises. I will assist the state so that he knows exactly what it's all about. I will ask Mr. Wolmerans just to point out what we want him to look at. It's just up there. And what we will say that when we had opportunity now in the court to investigate it, or 2 experts, that they found higher up a mark, according to the defense experts, a cricket bat mark hitting the door. So we'll point it out to the state, if I may, so that there's no surprise for Colonel Vermeulen, that he can work on it and that the state can see it, where the mark is. And we took photographs and so on that will be available, but it is just for purposes of the state. Thank you, my lady. And we will requesting that, of course, after this, that it be recalled for that purpose. The second aspect that we need from the state is to tell us if Mr. Hilton Botha will be called as a witness, because that will depend on how many questions we put to this witness. So you must please give us some indication, if you want. If they could just assist us there, because that will depend
Yes,
on
you
the
want,
cross-examination.
you want to know if Mr. Botha is
If
going
Mr.
to be
Botha will be
called.
called by the state.
Yes.
I don't know yet, my lady. I'll decide as the evidence goes.
Thank you, my lady. Colonel, then I want to put to you something before I deal with the sequence of events. As we listen to your evidence, the unavoidable inference is this: that you were willing to come to court to give evidence wider than you can in order to make the calling of Mr. Hilton Botha as a witness unnecessary, and we will point it out to you. So we say that you, in your evidence, went wider than you can really go, and you could have gone, and that is to make it unnecessary for the state to call Mr. Botha. And that's why we asked the state whether he would commit himself. Do you understand what I say to you?
Can you just rephrase it?
I say, Mr. Van Esbert, Colonel Van Esbert, you allowed yourself to come and give evidence that we will point out was designed to take the place of Mr. Botha in circumstances where you would not have been able to do it, where you could not say certain things. What do you say about that?
It's still very. Can you simplify it, please?
You're standing in for Mr. Botha's evidence on aspects that you cannot stand in for.
My lady, I'm not standing in for Warrant Officer Botha. I'm standing in for what the evidence that I saw on the scene.
And I'm going to make it easy because I don't want to trick you. First of all, I'm going to ask you this about your experience. How long experience do you have as a policeman?
As a policeman, 30 years, my lady.
And of course, you know, as the commanding officer there, that when you make a statement, you tell the truth in a statement.
That is correct, man.
Because you know that statement will be given to the defense, that they can prepare the case, and that they know what the case is against the accused that they represent.
That is correct, man.
And that's why it's important that you are deal with all the facts in the statement and in a truthful manner.
It is correct, my lady, regarding the facts that you have to set in your statement. But it's also true that it happens that you do not contain all the facts in the statement. As the development of the case happens, in this case, we started with the investigation. Then the investigation was handed over.
I understand it. Let me.
So when the investigation was handed over, some of the information that we had was never communicated from my side. I can't talk about that. Was not communicated and documented into in the statement. Later back, the new investigation had to come, and as he went with the investigation, he filling the missing gaps as he picked it up. But small things that was not mentioned in the first statement went missing between the statements.
So now, of course, I mean, for example, if you make a statement on 15 February 2013 and things happen subsequently, you have 2 choices. The one is to put in a further statement, and the other one is not to change your statement.
Yeah.
Is that not correct?
That's correct.
But the fact remains, I mean, you're a senior, you were a senior officer, that material facts you would not omit, you will deal with them, and you will deal with them correctly in your statement.
If that is the case, yes. But as I said, it happens in this case that there was certain evidence that was not captured in certain statements.
Could you just repeat that, please? You lowered your voice.
I said, no, it happens. And in this case, when it was handed over, there were small things that was omitted between statements.
Like what? What was that? The small things that you referred to.
Let me quickly think. Things like when my first statement was made. In my first statement, I didn't mention about the fact of the open door. The open door on the main bedroom. That was not mentioned.
What else?
We think there's a couple of things that I picked up. Well, in my first statement as well. Okay, my first statement compared. That was dealt with. This is the only thing that I quickly can remember now.
Well, if I may assist you, you also made a second statement
That's correct.
to
Yes,
supplement the first statement.
that is correct.
But again, the same principles would apply. You would deal with material facts, and if you remember something that you have not dealt with in the first statement, of course you will deal with that in the second statement.
The second statement, when the second statement was taken, my lady, there were certain questions asked from the investigation officer regarding certain points that he needed highlighted. So in that regard, I answer his questions, and that is highlighted in that statement.
Yes. And that's also the perfect opportunity if you want to correct something, to correct it. And I'm not talking about the open door, you can accept it.
If there was opportunity, then I agree. Yes, there was
Yes.
maybe opportunity to do.
And similarly, Warrant Officer Botha, Hilton Botha, he was, as you said, a knowledgeable and experienced policeman.
That is correct, my lady.
And he also, in your experience, he would share the same views as you on the responsibility to submit a truthful and complete or comprehensive statement.
Taking the circumstances that happens afterwards, my lady, but as a police officer, as I know him at the time of the crime scene and afterwards, until I know him, he will do that if he's aware of the fact. He would have done that if he's aware of the fact.
Yes, and what's of course particularly helpful, if you make your first statement and you made that to Hilton Botha, then you have that assistance that if there's something wrong that he can say to you, but Colonel, you say A now, but actually I was there, it's B. You had that assistance because you made that to him. He took your statement.
The benefit of investigation officers on the crime scene. My lady, one must remember, it's not one person it's not one person forming the team. There was a team, and that also means the forensic experts. We had a team on the crime scene. When we discuss about what we're going to gather, we discuss it and we just said, right, this is needed. We had to take this. So each and everybody was involved in their discussions. Sometimes some people was left out. So up to the stage, Warrant Officer Botha went to Bronkhorstspruit for the autopsy on the 14th. So he was for apparent reason he was not available. He came back hours later, so some of the things he missed. We informed him when he come back, but it could happen that one or two things could have happened. But when you continue with the investigation, all the things will follow in place and we will fit it up and we'll make sure everything is being highlighted.
I'm making a different point, Colonel. I say if you sit on the 15th of February and you make a statement, and that statement is made to the investigating officer Hilton Botha, and you talk about events the previous day, the benefits, of course, that if you're wrong, that he can help you and say, well, it was not 10 o'clock, it was actually 12 o'clock because I was with you. That's what I'm saying. You had that added benefit.
One added benefit.
Yes, you were not making your statement to a stranger. You would, in fact, the statement was taken, your statement was taken by Hilton Botha, who was with you the previous day, or on the 14th. That's the benefit that you had.
That's correct. I agree with you.
So I interrupted the first line of questioning, and that was this. On that day, my understanding is that the first persons, other than, of course, the accused, and possibly before your time, paramedics, Mr. Stander, Miss Stander, and Dr. Stipp. We know they were there before the time. Apart from them, the first persons that went to the first floor, went upstairs, would be you and Hilton Botha. It would have been the two of you.
That was after I arrived on the scene.
Yes, and that's why I excluded them, because you would not know what happened with the paramedics. You would not know what happened, what the procedure was with Mr. Stander, Miss Stander, and Dr. Stipp.
That is
That was
correct.
before your time.
Yes.
So we can take it from that timeline. And you arrived, my understanding, about 3:45 in the
That is
morning of the 14th of February, 2013, roundabout,
Yeah.
at the scene.
That's correct.
You called Hilton Botha, and then the two of you went up to follow the blood spatter, the blood drops upstairs.
That is correct. Alright.
Where was the accused when you and Hilton Botha went upstairs? Where did you leave him?
He was still in the kitchen.
And you had two questions by the state, one yesterday and one today, that you can state as a fact that no other policeman but for the two of you, and then subsequently, shortly thereafter, also the photographer went upstairs. Now, I'm not talking after the photos. I'm talking from the time that you went to the time of the photographer. Those were the persons who went upstairs. You, Hilton Botha, and the photographer.
That's correct.
And I understand afterwards, some of you explained that some of the forensic members went up to do their investigation. I'm talking about the early morning time. You understand? Are you satisfied that your answer is correct in that respect?
I'm 100% sure.
100% sure. I want you, because I see it's not far and I will carry on, but I want to make it available to you so that in all fairness that you have sufficient time to read your two statements during the tea adjournment. I will hand it to you, to the court. It seems, and you must assist me, it did not come through on the copies. I will take steps to, this is the one for you. I will just first show you the back of my document. Maybe the state can assist when that first statement was made, before I officially hand in. There is the original that I hand to you. If you can just tell us when that statement was made.
My lady, if he's talking about A14,
You'll see there's a date stamp at the back.
yes, there's a date stamp at the back. No, there's not a date stamp at the back, it's certificate. Are you, sorry, but I just want
That's
to...
right.
That's what you're referring to.
That's when you took the oath that the statement was the truth and the whole truth and nothing else but the truth.
The date stamp on this one is the 16th.
16th.
I think it's, yeah, it looks like the 6th. That
Yes, it may be. My lady,
1670
I
under that.
apologize. I'll take steps. Unfortunately, when they copied the statement, the stamp was at the back, but we will take steps to also make a copy of that page.
Yes, but
I
to
have-
show it's A14.
That would be, is it marked in the front?
A14.
Yes.
A40.
A14.
A14.
Thank
A14.
you.
And just
Page-
look through it before I
back
hand
to
it in.
page
Just confirm you're a senior officer work that that's in fact your first statement.
That was my first statement.
You have seen it since and you've read through
Yeah.
it and you're satisfied that's your
Yeah,
statement.
that's my statement.
Yes. My lady, would the court accept this? I think it's exhibit GG.
Yes, this will be GG.
And then your second statement,
No, just hold on. We don't have F. FF.
I thought it was the inventory.
Yeah, the inventory was...
The inventory I thought was FF. If you would just bear with me, my lady, to get the correct number. I was told that the inventory was FF. No, that was right. Is what I have, according to our list, if I might say, there was the cut out picture of the part of the prosthetic foot. That was EE. And then we know there was the inventory.
You're quite correct.
The inventory must be FF. I think that maybe there was an omission to give it a formal
Yes.
number.
I said the inventory is EE. It should be FF.
FF indeed,
Yes.
my lady.
So this will be GG.
Then my apologies. I understand now the back of that statement is also the witness's second statement. We will split that up for you. Do you also have your second statement there?
That is correct, my lady. A14, I don't know what the other number is there.
A14A.
A14A, yeah.
Yes.
And when was that made?
But this was taken by
Captain van Aert.
Captain van Aert, and there's no stamp here. The bottom here, Pretoria, the
And I had to
8th of May, 20.
8th of May, that's indeed correct. Lady, that would then be accepted as GG.
Oh, GG.
H, my lady, the second statement's HH.
8th of May.
You also confirmed the correctness of that.
That is correct.
Oh, this is
So just to avoid any possible further confusion, your first statement was made on 16 February 2014, and it was deposed to by you, and the commissioner in that case was Hilton Botha.
According to the stamps and according to them, it's in the 60.
Yes.
That's correct.
And the second statement was made 8th May, and there the commissioner was Captain Van Aert.
And that is according to the intern about it.
Now, what I want you to do, I will carry on till the tea adjournment, not to waste time, but I want you during the adjournment again to read. I know you've read them a number of times, but please read through your two statements again during the adjournment. Will you do so?
I will do so.
In the meantime, I will deal with other aspects, and it is this. That morning, you were at a armed robbery at Mooi Kloof Rift Estate.
That was correct.
And that is quite an affluent estate with access, security, access control, and security guards.
That is correct.
And in your experience, that won't stop crime.
No, it doesn't, Scott. No, security gate, even security fencing, if the criminal really wants to commit, that doesn't stop.
And that morning was again an unfortunate example of that. It was an armed robbery there in that affluent estate.
That is correct.
Then you said that you then rushed to the house of Mr. Pistorius. You arrived there approximately quarter to 4. And if you could just explain to the court the emotional state of Mr. Pistorius when you were there, when you arrived there.
Well, as I previously testified that he was emotional, he was very emotional. I can't say unstable, but I'll say emotional. He was unstable. He was crying and he was really, you can see he was upset. Not upset in a furious way, but upset emotionally.
Was it your impression when you asked him what had happened, that he was so emotional that he could not answer?
That was my own deduction that I made.
Yes. It was not that he was ignoring you, it was just, he was overcome by emotion. He could not answer. That was your observation.
Add to the first and second time that I asked him what happens, he was at that emotional state.
Yeah, the emphasis is, of course, that he was so overcome by emotion that he could not answer.
No, he didn't say that he was overcome by emotion. He didn't talk to me at all. I just observed that I saw he was emotional.
Would you have described him as, in your observation, that he could not answer because of emotions?
As I said, yes, my deduction was as a result of his emotional state, he was not able to answer.
Yeah. And when you asked him again, was your observation, and I quote, he still was not able to talk.
That is correct.
Then you secured the necessary official services, and you also contacted Hilton Botha, and in that time period you also had a conversation with, I think it was Christian.
That's
In that
correct.
time period.
Yeah, in that time period.
You also, in that time period, asked Mr. Pistorius, who was in the kitchen, to move back to the rear side of the kitchen and to remain there,
That is correct, Maria.
which he obeyed.
Yes.
And it was at that time, when he was there, that Mr. Hilton Botha arrived, and you followed the blood spatter marks upstairs.
Yes, we first did the body. We started from the
First-
body and then we went on.
What was the time then, more or less?
Maria, I will not be able to tell because as the thing is developed, I didn't continue watching my watch as it happens.
But it was still very early in the morning.
It was early. It was still.
So you went upstairs, and where did you go to first? Once you're upstairs on the first floor.
As indicated previously, my lady, we take the stairs and follow the blood trail.
Now, understand, you're up now.
Upstairs.
You're on
The
the
left
first
hand
floor.
door, the door on the left hand side. The door on the left hand side, feeding the lock, make sure the door has been locked and it's not it's been damaged or tampered with or what.
I'm sorry, once you enter the door of the main bedroom, where did you go?
Okay, you're talking about the main bedroom.
Yes.
Right. The main bedroom, the main focus, as we stopped there because we didn't know what we're going to find next. So we first stopped in the main bedroom. Now, when I entered there, I observed what is happening in the main bedroom, what we saw in the main bedroom. And then from there, I turned left and I went to the bathroom.
So you say you observed what was in the main bedroom. What did you observe?
When I entered, first thing that I entered in the main bedroom was this pellet gun that was standing there, the cabinet with all the sunglasses, then the watches that were standing there, then the hi-fi, and then the bed. How it was with the duvet lying on the side, and the trousers that was laying, brook that was laying there next to the
Speak up a little bit, please, Mr.
to the duvet. The following thing that I noticed was the plockies of
The sandals.
the sandals. The sandals was on the left side of the bed, as
Well,
well
the slippers,
as
I think it was rather slippers.
Yeah,
Or sandals. Which
the
one?
sandals. It's not
Sandals.
slippers. It's to just put your feet into them and you walk. And then also the bag that was standing on the couch on the left hand side. On the right hand side, the light was on. When I entered in, the light was on, so the visibility was good in the bedroom. Then I picked up the fan.
What did you see about the fan?
The fan. I'm talking about the metallic one, the stainless steel one. I can say it like that. But was standing in front of the door, and then that the curtains was open. I didn't go to the right hand side at that stage because the blood trial moved to the left.
So what you mean, you did not walk into the room?
I moved into the room, but it didn't move to the right. I moved to the left, following the blood trial.
I understand that, meaning you did not go closer to the bed.
No,
You moved to the
at that
left to the
stage, I
bathroom.
didn't fall closer to the bed.
You did not go closer to the bed.
That's correct.
So what distance would you say you were about from the bed at that time when you made the observation, more or less?
No, I'm not the distance. Let's say maybe 2-3 meters. I can be wrong. I can be.
So that was your observation as you've explained to us now.
Yeah.
You saw the pellet gun, and I think with it there was a baseball bat. Did
At
you
that
see
stage, first when I entered, I didn't notice that baseball bat. The baseball bat. One thing one must remember, my lady, is if you're the first person on the crime, you saw certain things. But in this case, when you become the first person and also assisting the team investigation, you discover things later as well. So when you actually come to the point when you're making a statement, it tends to happen that the first things that you saw is incorporated into your statement. By not purposely, but eventually you saw everything else, saw the big picture. So in this case, what would have happened is if we continue with the investigation, I would have presented a statement at the end indicating everything that I saw as well as from the beginning. Okay. But when I entered there, not at the stage, I didn't see the baseball bat.
Yes, I understand that. I'm just trying to ascertain the extent of your first observation.
That is the challenging.
Yes, that is it.
That's a challenging one, as I said, if you is involved in the later investigation.
No, of course. But so you were not going into the bedroom, meaning to the bedside. You were in the bedroom, but you turned left down the passage going to the bathroom.
Yes, that is
Is
true.
my understanding correct?
That is
And what you observed just before turning to the left to go down the passage, you observed what you've just explained.
That's correct.
You then decided to follow the blood spatter,
That is correct.
which my understanding is followed the path down the passage to the bathroom,
That is
between
correct.
the cupboards.
That is correct.
And that is where you observed, close to the entrance of the bathroom, in the passage still a empty cartridge,
That is correct.
the spent card.
Empty cartridge, spin cartridges.
And you then turned into the bathroom.
Yes,
Still with Hilton Water.
that is correct.
Who was leading?
At that stage, I wouldn't say. I don't know what. I can't say who was leading because we was together. We couldn't come in first. He was in the beginning when we entered the bathroom, the main bedroom. He was in the front. If you ask me now if you turn right or you turn left, I can't remember. But as we went through the passage, then I saw. That's why I'm saying I saw the spin cartridge. I can't remember if he saw it with me because we didn't talk about who saw it first. But that is what I.
That you draw his attention to it.
Some of the things that I saw, I draw his attention to, and some of the things that he saw, he draws his attention to me.
So there was communication between
There was
you.
communication between us.
So you're in the bathroom and there you observed a number of things.
That is correct.
How long did you stay in the bathroom?
We was there for a while. We was there for a while. If I say for a while, I can't say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but as we were standing, we went through from this point to that point and that point, picking up what we saw, and just to first establish what really, or what we thought happens there, to get the impression what we have to do and investigate further.
You did not disturb anything in the bathroom.
Nothing at all.
You did not see Mr. Hilton Botha disturbing anything in the bathroom,
Nothing.
picking anything up, moving
No.
anything.
Nothing. We didn't touch anything.
And then from the bathroom, where did you go to then?
I turned around and I went because my reasoning was the information that I received is that the accused said that he shot the intruder, or he thought that Reeva was the intruder, and that is why the shot was fired. So my intention of an investigation was to determine if there was an intruder. And that's why when I left the bathroom, I went past the main bed, and I went out of the open door onto the patio, that stoop area.
Would that be, if I may ask, through the sliding door of the main bed?
Sliding door of the main bed, that's correct.
Onto the patio there?
That is correct.
Was that to look if you can see anything suspicious?
Anything suspicious. What I did is, while I was standing on this patio stoop, if you access the sliding door, you turn left. I turned left and I start looking there. Then and on the bottom of the outside wall of the house, there was ladders. Now, I can't tell if it's 3 or 4 or 5, but it was not one. It was, I think it's 3, maybe more than 3, if it's not 3. Ladders where they were stretched on top one of one another, but they was lying flat. It was lying flat on the ground. And then I turned again around, and that stood there's also, I turned around and I go into the, into the main bedroom, back into the main bedroom.
Still with Hilton Botha?
Hilton, at that stage, I don't think he was outside with me. He was still inside.
So you did not see what he was doing inside?
No, I didn't.
Did you, when going through the bedroom to the balcony, did you observe something new that you've not seen before with your first observation?
No, nothing at all. And even with Warrant Officer Botha, he still had everything that he had with him. He didn't have anything with him, but he didn't touch, he didn't take anything, he didn't have anything in his hands. He was just...
Yes, and you yourself, you did not pick up anything?
Not at all, my lady.
And did you observe anything new that you've not seen at the time when you just entered the bedroom?
When I entered back into the bedroom, then the right-hand side of the bed, that cables that was lying there, as it indicated on the photo, I noticed that. Then we went around, because it was very surprising for me, these 2 blockies, as I said, on the left-hand side.
So you focused on that?
I focused on that because I don't know why, but that just happened. So I went around to the left-hand side, and then I noticed the holster, firearm holster lying on the bed.
Just to avoid any possible confusion, when you talk about the left-hand side, it is when you face the bed, where the headboard of the bed would be.
That is correct.
That left-hand side, not when you're lying on the bed.
Yeah. Now, if you actually
When you're standing in front
of
of me and looking at the bed,
that is correct.
that's that left-hand side.
That is correct.
So you went around because you focused on the pluckies, and what did you do there?
And then, as I said, then I observed the holster that was lying on the bedside table, on the left
On
hand
the bedside table. Did you pick it up?
No, I didn't pick it up. I just let it.
Were you acutely aware that you should not disturb the scene?
I didn't disturb and I didn't pick it up.
Did you have that awareness?
Yes, yes.
And what was Mr. Botha doing at that time?
I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was doing that time.
And then what did you do? Did you go out? Did you remain there?
Yes. Then I went out of the main bedroom, my lady. Then I accessed the first bedroom next to the main bedroom.
Where was Mr. Botha now?
I don't know at that stage where he was at that stage.
You can't say that he was with you.
I don't believe. I can't remember.
You think he
I
told
don't.
you?
No, he was not with me when I entered that.
So he stayed behind in the,
I don't know if he stayed behind or if he was in the passage, but he didn't want with me.
but he was not with you.
That's correct.
So you went into, was it another bedroom?
I went into that first in-suite bedroom next to the main bedroom.
And what did you do in there?
There, I also went to the windows. All the window was locked, and also the door was locked. There was a key in the door, and I took the this curtain you can see through. I took it, and it was locked. The key as well was locked, and it was being the key of that particular door. So there was nothing is disturbed, and nobody entered there as well.
I'm sorry, I just forgot to ask something in the bathroom. I'm taking you back to the main bathroom. You saw the open bathroom window. Is it correct that the toilet window was closed?
I'm not aware of the toilet window.
Did you not see a toilet window?
Yes, I'm not aware. The bathroom window, as indicated in the photo, with the
With the blinds on top
lines on top.
and the frosted glass?
Yes, that one I looked out And I personally look out of the window.
And the toilet window?
No,
Did not see it.
there's no toilet window. There's no toilet window.
There's no
I saw-
toilet window.
That I saw, yeah.
You thought I wanted to catch you
Mm.
out by saying there's a toilet window. There is a toilet window.
Is that?
You didn't see it.
No, I didn't see it.
And lady, would it be an opportune time?
We'll take our tea break. Court will adjourn.
Five 1-5. How many keys do you see?
My ladies, previously as indicated, I see the one in the lock and I see the one at the back of
You see two keys.
white piece and then the remote that's in front.
Basically two keys.
If you count the remote as a key, then it becomes a
No,
third.
partner, not talking about remotes,
Yeah, that is true.
Colonel.
That is true that I can see.
Which keys would that be for?
As I said, I don't know. I can't remember the exact keys. And I can't
The one
remember
would be,
the
it seems, for the front door.
I will not say, I can't say these the front door's keys.
You know, it's not a trick question. I see you don't want to make observations anymore. It's not a trick question. It's where you seal the front door and that's the key.
If that's the key, be taken from the photo that is proof that it is been taken, then that was the key. But I can't tell if it's a key because I can't remember that.
We go to photo 544. How many keys do you see there?
There I see two. One with the.
It would be the same bunch of keys than previously, but there are more keys.
If you can compare the two photos next to one another, then I can see.
I'm just trying to find out how are the keys preserved? What's the security about the key to prevent access to the house? So it's not, let's
lady,
pick
what
the
hap-
differences.
yeah.
It's rather the security.
My lady, what happened after the lock was the house was locked? The keys was put in the evidence bag. It was sealed in the evidence bag and was taken to the station. First night, that was the case. The next, I can't remember if there's the next day or the day after. We didn't put it in evidence bags again because we handed it in and then I took the keys and I put it in my safe in my office. That is the method that we. But the first day it was locked there because, as I said, indicated when I arrived at home, I said to myself, why didn't I take the keys and lock it in my safe? Because what prevents someone else to go and take the key again? So up to stage we did this and then we started not to doing it anymore.
But I take you back to exhibit GG, your statement. To paragraph 12. You said, and that's now dealing with you following the blood spatter upstairs, going into the bathroom, where I pointed out to you, you were alone, but you say it's all wrong, you were with Hilton Botha. We've gone through that. Then you say a cricket bat with black signatures on was lying on the floor on the right-hand side of the basin. That's where it was.
That was the
Right
cricket
hand
bat,
of the basin.
describing the black signature, describing the exhibit. As I later, when we pick it up, we saw the black the signature at the back.
But we are dependent on your observations.
As I indicated previously, my lady, I said the first when you doing the first person attending a crime scene, he made observations. The ideal circumstances is that person write this A1 statement. I was on the scene, and then I was also involved in the investigation. So some of the things that we discovered later, I wrote it in my statement,
But we now dependent,
identifying it more clearly.
Colonel, we dependent to see through your eyes what you saw at the scene when you went upstairs the first time, to understand what the scene would have looked like, not so.
That is true, yes.
Now, of course, you would then describe that in a statement, a police statement.
That is correct, yes.
And what you described is what you observed.
That is correct, yes.
So what you must have observed was a cricket bat you walk in with black signatures on, and it was lying on the floor on the right hand of the basin. That must have been your observation.
Yes, that's my observation, and the statement is written on the 16th.
Yes.
I didn't write the statement today, just after I went up. I write the statement has been written the 16th. So that is where you get the influence of investigating and attending the crime scene.
Well, let me go back to my question. And that is in your statement. You don't have to say, well, later on, I saw a change situation. You're dealing in your statement with your observations the first time when you went upstairs. True?
That is true.
And all that we can expect from you is then to truly and correctly deal with your observations.
That is also correct, yes.
But that was then, you say, not your observation.
That was my observation, added with what I saw later. The same as what I was mentioning my lady about the white and the black cell phone.
Your observation was what when you went into the bathroom in relation to the cricket bat? What did you see?
The cricket bat was lying at the bottom of, on the tile floor, next to the basin.
But it was not lying with the flat side up, with the signatures up.
No, it was not lying with his flat side. That is true.
So
Later, when we pick it up, and that is what I remember when I write my statement, that there's the signatures on the flat side.
The cell phone, the white cell phone that you did not see because in your evidence it was under a mat, I think. It was concealed.
And it was under the towel.
A towel.
A towel.
The photo, I might take it there, if you bear with me. It's photo 108 and 109. Let's get them both. It's not to spot the difference, it's just the photo of the white cell phone. Let's go to 108. And then we can go to a close-up. You can look at it at 109. Help me as what is it that the photo portrays? And what should it portray?
The first entering of the scene, the cell phone was covered with that towel, or it was not visible like this.
But we received the photos of a cell phone lying in the open. That was not the observation. It was put there for purposes of a photo. Not so?
It's just, I don't understand your question.
That when you walked into that bathroom, that cell phone was not in that position. It was not lying open away from a towel and away from a mat.
I didn't see this cell phone when we entered it. So I can't say if it's, as I said, later on we discovered it. He was told to me that he was under a towel. So I didn't see the white one at first.
I understand that. I'm making a different point. I say when you look at that photo, that could not have been the scene that you saw.
Did you hear that? What time code is that?
The same with the next photo.
How are you, baby?
That could not have been the scene.
That
Something
part.
happened in relation to the cell phone to make it disappear.
To make it disappear.
This cell phone, yes.
Yes. We're trying to find out when can we rely on a scene photo as a true reflection. And
Thank you, my boo-boo. Thank you, sweetheart.
There are a number of things that we're going to show you. And how does it work when you take photos?
Say that again.
How does it work when you take photos of the scene? Do you take it of the scene as it is, and then you have a second album saying, now, train?
It doesn't indicate the scene. If there was photos taken afterwards, like this one, it doesn't indicate where the cell phone was. It indicated actually when the cell phone was discovered, this is where we found it, after we lift up certain things. So then your photos change, because the first one indicates is we didn't see this. And then we started with the investigation. And then you get additional photos. So the first set of photos that was taken by Warrant Officer Warrant Officer van Staden, when me and Warrant Officer Botha took him up, that is the most important set of photos.
Will there be an opportunity to talk about that?
You're still under oath?
So thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Ru?
Thank you, my lady. Colonel, I take you away from the toilet window, or not, to that first room that you went into next to the main bedroom. A spare room or something, you remember?
Okay, I was with you.
And just speak up a little bit.
I'm with you.
And you were alone in there.
As I can remember, I was alone.
Yeah. You do not know where Mr. Hilton Botha was at that time.
I don't know if he was with me. I can't remember if he was with me.
And from there, where did you go to?
After I exited that bedroom, I went to the next one. It's the second one from the main bedroom.
On your own?
On my own again.
And from there?
After I've entered the bedroom, went to the bathroom, and there I could have seen that someone was staying there. Because you can see toothbrush, there was a toothpaste in the bathroom, and also there was visibility. There was visibility that someone is actually staying in the bedroom. It's not like the previous one that you can pick up that was actually just a spare room. So after I exited from the in-suite bathroom and that bedroom, I went out and I went to the kitchen.
To the kitchen?
To the kitchen.
Where you found Mr. Pistorius?
That's correct.
And what happened then in the kitchen?
In the kitchen, as I said, my lady, I went down and asked the accused if they were alone in the house.
Is that where you spoke to him?
That was now after the first time when I came back, and not when I arrived at the scene. So actually, we talk about the third time that I was spoken to. Then at that stage, he answered me and he said to me they were alone in the house. So then I said to him, in accordance with what I saw upstairs, the bathroom, that I regarded him as a suspect, and as I indicated previously, why I reason him in one of his.
Who was at the house at that time?
Can you just?
Who was at that time when you told him that you now regard him as a suspect? Who else was at the house?
I mean, there was a lot of people at the house at that stage.
Such as?
As I previously said, Carl,
were they still there? Was Carl still there?
He was there.
And the Standers?
Standers.
The father and daughter, were they still there?
As I recommended, the daughter was there. She was not with me, actually, standing next to me, but they were still there. The father I didn't see. Mr. Stander I didn't see. I can't remember that he was there at that stage. That's the only ones that I can remember.
And of the police at that time?
At that time, I think Sergeant, what is his name? Sergeant Sabeta also arrived.
Sergeant?
Sabeta.
Sabeta
also.
From where is he?
He's also from Bosco Police Station. He's also from the police station. From the
Bosco Police Station?
Yeah, from CSC. And he came to assist in the crime scene as well.
And apart from Sergeant Sabeta?
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember the other people.
More policemen?
Not more policemen, no.
So all you can remember is Sergeant Mbeta, Sabeta. And where was Mr. Botha at that time? When you spoke to the accused?
I can't remember where he was at that stage.
And when did Mr. van Staden, the photographer, arrive in relation to that time?
Yeah. After we moved the accused to the garage, van Staden arrived. Or was it during the time after, just around that time? It was not while I was with the accused. Warning officer right at the first time.
Would you say it was at the time when Mr. Pistorius was in the garage or still in the kitchen?
I can't remember if it was that's I can't remember.
And when he arrived, was he on his own or was he accompanied by other police members?
I don't know if he was other people with him, but when he identified himself, he was the photographer, and then that's what I focused on him. And at that stage, when he identified himself, then I focused on him as person, and then from there we went further.
And what does it mean in relation to the question whether he was accompanied by someone else?
Not what I can say he was accompanied.
Was he alone?
According to me, when he approached me, he was alone.
Yeah. And did you go back upstairs again or not?
As is indicated previously, my lady, me and Warrant Officer Botha went with the Warrant Officer van Staden and the photographer.
How long about after his arrival?
No, I can't tell you time frames.
Did he first take photos downstairs before going upstairs?
Yes, he first take photos of the body.
Did you remain in his company when he was doing so or not?
I was remaining in the company, yes.
And where was Mr. Botha?
He was with him. He was with us and he was assisting the photograph.
So he had then joined you by then?
That is.
Do you know who joined you again?
No, I can't tell when, time frames, no, can't tell you.
And Sergeant Sabeta, where was he?
He was standing at the back, next to the cabinet in the kitchen. He's standing at the back, at the cabinets in the kitchen.
He did not go up.
No, he didn't go up.
And who then went up with, once the photographer, Mr. van Staden, had taken photos of pictures downstairs, whatever nature, who went up?
As we arrived, as the forensic experts arrived, because as they arrived, they identified them what teams are and who are they, and then we escorted them up. It's between me and Bert.
So must I understand from that then that you didn't go up with van Staden and Bert until such time that the forensic experts had arrived?
No, I went up with Bert and van Staden.
Before the forensic experts?
Before the forensic, because we blocked the scene that nobody can get access to the scene before the photographs has been taken.
Yes. So you then went up with van Staden and Botha. That would be now your second time and Botha's second time.
That is correct.
And van Staden's first time.
That is correct.
Where did you go to?
Where did?
Did you go to the first floor?
We all
After taking the photos at the bottom.
After taking the photos at the bottom, we all three went up to the first floor.
And what did you do there?
We indicated, as I said previously, we followed the blood trail. We're showing the blood trail to the photographer as it went into the main bedroom and to the bathroom.
So it's more or less the same path followed by Botha and you?
More or less, yes.
Because you followed the path of the blood spatter?
Yes.
So to speak.
Except that we didn't went through the first door that when you enter the first floor. I just indicated to him that the door was locked, but he didn't went through that.
Yeah, I mean in relation to the main bedroom.
That is correct.
Accept that. So you first then went down the passage into the bathroom.
That is correct.
And that you're getting now to take photos of the empty cartridges lying there and the other empty cartridges and whatever you saw in the bathroom.
That's correct.
And from there, after you finished the bathroom with van Staden, you remained with him.
Van Staden, we remained with him, and then when he left out of the bathroom, he went to the main bedroom.
What did you do there?
And then he started taking photos there. At one point, he took that bed spray or duvet and he opened it up. That was part of, as you go through the crime scene, covering what you need. But the photos, the original photos as we taken it, was taken, and then after that taken, then you continue further investigating,
So
taking photos.
let me understand. So they took a photo of the duvet as it was, and then it was spread open, and another photo taken.
As you continue the investigation, you found something, you first take the scene as it is, photographs as the scene it is. That is the first phase of the photograph. Then afterwards, after you're sure you've taken all the photos, then you start with investigating further. And then you found another piece of evidence, and then you take further photos.
So then a number of photos were taken in the main bedroom.
There was photos taken. I don't know what the number is, but there was.
Now, I'm trying to find out what was interfered with, like the duvet that was spread open. Anything else?
Okay, if you're going back to if you're talking, my lady, if you're talking about the so that interfere further investigation into what we found in the bathroom. The other things that we found that additional cell phone, the white cell phone. First, as we entered, as I said yesterday, I saw 2 cell phones.
You saw one that you thought.
Yeah, my mind said it was 2. Later, when we found this other cell phone, the white cell phone was covered underneath a towel. That was underneath a plank of one of those portions in the bathroom. Then, when that is where I found out that it was 2 cell phones, but it's not actually 2. It's not 2 cell phones. It was not 3 cell phones. It was 2 cell phones. The white one and the black one. The black one's covered jumped off it as it fell. So that is what we found.
I'm sorry. Let me just before you move on there. Is my understanding correct that the first time you did not see the white cell phone, but the second time you did, or did you only see it later on photo?
No, I said later on, dear, as we going through the bathroom. The photograph.
So you never saw the white cell phone in the bathroom?
No, the white cell phone. I showed it later, and then when I talk about later, when we was talking about the cell phones, I talk about 2 cell phones, and then Warrant Officer Botha said, the black and the white one. And then I said, no, what white one are you talking about? And then he said, but there's a black and white one. And then he showed me the white one. And then I said,
on the photo?
That one. Yeah, not on the photo, on the scene. We didn't see the photos. there. He showed me. And then
he take you to the bathroom to show you?
He took me to the bathroom. We were still there in the area. So
still there where, sorry?
We were still there in the bedroom. So I said, okay, that one I didn't saw.
Where was it? Why did you not see it?
That white one was covered underneath a towel, as I said. With one of these portions was also lying next to it. I think it's covered in one of the photos of the photograph. So that is so that is one of the things that we discovered as we further investigate. The cricket bat that was lying there.
You saw the cricket bat.
The cricket bat was lying there next to the basin, as indicated next to the basin where it was lying on the photo. The cricket bat was lying there, and it was lying exactly as it was lying. And later, as we discovered and go further, when the cricket ban was lifted, I saw the hand signatures of people on the cricket ban, black signatures of people on there. I'll really talk about the cartridge. Also in the bathroom later on, also when the forensics arises, we, as I indicated, one of the portions that was lying into the toilet. When we lifted it, as I said, there was pieces of human tissue in that.
One of the panels.
Yeah, one of the panels. What else did I show? Yeah, that is into the.
And in the main bedroom, apart from the duvet, that you
main bedroom, when we entered the main room, and then after they're taking the photos, and as I said, they open up the duvet. Warrant Officer van Staden on the right hand. Was a bit cussy.
You just drop your voice. I'm sorry.
The
pedestal.
Yeah, dus just get to the Afrikaans word bedkassie, the right hand side.
The bedside table.
Yeah, bedside table.
Yes.
The bedside table. He discovered the magazine and the magazine pouch with the rounds in that.
In the bedside table.
In the bedside table.
So he must have opened the bedside table and he saw the magazine.
And seen it, and then he said that what I took and handed in and said, I seized that and I handed in it myself. Right. That was what Warrant Officer van Staden discovered.
First a photo taken of it on the bed and then you seized it.
Yes, that is correct.
Anything else that you handled, that you touched and so on?
Other thing there, no, not that I handled in the.
Because I think as an experienced policeman, you would know not to interfere with the scene other than to take photos.
Yeah, the first priority, take photos as you receive it. Afterwards, then you start with the investigation. Then you start touching in your, because it has to be seized. You can't just leave it there, and you have to investigate further.
And that you then move down again.
We was as he moved with the blood trail, you take photos as you go out, because you start at a point where at the fastest point where you can determine where it happened, and then you continue as you go down until you get to the other point as well.
And now, when did the forensic officials or officers arrive?
Okay, while we was waiting for Warrant Officer van Staden to finish with the photographer, so sometimes I left and I went down, and Warrant Officer Botha stayed upstairs.
So Warrant Officer, that's Hilton Botha, he remained with Mr. van Staden upstairs, and you came down.
That is right.
Was it then that the forensic guys?
It was during the morning. During the morning they arrived. We were talking about not once up and down. We went a couple of times to go up and down.
And who were they?
Me and Botha.
Now, who arrived on behalf of who represented the forensic department?
As they arrived, it's, the people receiving them at the entrances where they were blocked, at the access to the crime scene. They contact us. When we go down, there was no contact telephonically saying this guy is now here, because we didn't have that access to that resource. So when we went there, then they said this person is here. Then they said, right, okay, now this person is here. Then can we start using it? When we start using it, you still have to wait until we give him permission to access.
And did they go upstairs?
And then they started as we finish, and then we had access.
Did you go with them upstairs again, or did
we
you
escort them? We escort them. The same thing as I said with the ballistic expert. We escorted him, and I took him to the bathroom where the firearms was.
And when you went with him, what did you do?
I was standing next to him.
Observing. Because the forensics are now at work.
Yeah, the ballistic expert was now at work there.
Who was that?
The ballistic guy was Lieutenant Colonel Mota. He was there for the firearm and the ballistics.
That's the same person that made the firearm safe.
That is correct.
Yeah. So you just, when the forensics arrived, you just observed.
That's correct.
Because they take now over, and did you remain there all the time, or did you go down?
It depends on what they was doing. Sometimes there was you were actually in the way, because if they was doing investigation or taking photos, you have to stand outside. So you leave them. There's experts. They know what they're doing, and then you come back a little bit later again.
And what time did you leave the scene?
On which day?
On the 14th.
On the 14th. It was around about, it's the afternoon, 14 something.
And I'm sorry, I had some difficulty in following you on the sealing. What is your evidence in that regard? How did you seal the scene?
We sealed the scene with by locking all the windows, doors first, make sure everything has been secured, and then lock the door, the main door. We have the keys to that. We also make sure that the dogs that was there was 2 dogs, that the gardener, that he had food for them, take out food for him, that he can have food. And he was staying, as I said, he was staying on the right-hand corner, but he didn't have access to the house. We took his keys actually to make sure that he doesn't access. And then we sealed it with official seal, the front door. And then there was photos taken of the seal.
Were you involved in the sealing? Did you observe that?
Sorry,
The sealing of the front door?
Warrant Officer van Staden, and I was standing by, and also the guard that was taking over.
And you left then?
Then we left.
Was there any difficulty with the sealing of the door?
At first, no.
If you say at first, no, what does that mean? Was there a later
Yeah, there was
stage?
enough. There was enough. We haven't got a problem at all. We had enough. We had seal. We had to seal. We took the photo. We even fixed additional banners in front of the door. There was no problem regarding the seal.
And the inventory? How did that work?
Inventory.
Yeah, the document that you handed to us, exhibit, I think FF. That document.
As I said, when the next day when we started at the crime scene, I give the instruction that for the guard that's standing in the outside when you enter the house, where the main entrance to the house is, that everybody that has been entered has been recorded on the control. And then when they come out of the house, then again that has been minute and what has been seized, taken out of the house, and then the package has been checked what it is, and then it has been recorded on.
Was anything seized on the first day?
I assume there was a couple of things that has been tested. I assume there was things that had been seized.
That you
didn't
seized
control it. I didn't control the seizure of the forensic guys. I seized the firearm. Not the firearm, the magazine and the rounds and the holster.
That you saw in the main bedroom?
That the warrant officer van Staden.
Mr. van Staden, warrant officer van Staden.
That's right.
Now, I was just looking at exhibit FF to understand how it works, and if you would not mind to go there. It consists of pages paginated 1 to 5, and then it starts at 1 again. You have that?
No, sorry, I just get myself. Well, no, I don't have that. I don't know what the original is.
Do you have it with you?
Copy for me. I've got a copy for me, please. Sorry.
You will see that it's paginated, exhibit FF. The first pagination is 1 to 5, and then it starts at 1 again. If you go to page 2.
Yes, that's correct, John.
It seems page 2 would be now the 16th of February 2013, and page 1 would be the 15th of February 2013. The first 5 pages deal with 15th February 2013, and then there's a pagination again, page 1 and 2, dealing with the 16th of February 2013. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, just to understand the procedure followed, like when you go to the 16th of February 2013 to page 2 of the document FF.
I've got it.
You see there's entry number 14.
That is
That's
correct.
Mr. Oldwage.
That's correct.
Can you just read what is underneath his name there?
They stand medals, cash, looks like euros, and safe contents.
What would that indicate to the police? What was taken? Was the whole safe contents taken?
It could be, it couldn't be. It doesn't describe it clearly.
And then what happened to the the document of the 14th, the Thursday, because this one starts at the 15th, this exhibit FF. Where's the one of the 14th?
There was not one kept on the 14th.
It's not.
No, there was not one kept.
And then there's a movement register at the back of the document. That's a typed document, back of FF.
The witness indicated before it was handed in that he doesn't know what that is, and that was removed from the exhibit. Through, by the way.
Yes, we don't have it in our possession.
I'm sorry, it was handed to me and I didn't realize that, but
Yes.
it's fine. Now, you were repeatedly asked, I'm going to repeat the question just to ensure that that's correct, that since you arrived at the scene and until the time that you went up with Warrant Officer Botha, no one went upstairs.
That's correct, my lady.
And the second point, it also seems that no one went upstairs when you, Warrant Officer Botha, and Warrant Officer van Staden went upstairs, which was now your second time.
That
No
is
one
correct.
else went upstairs.
That is correct.
And then only the forensic persons arrived.
Afterwards, that's
That
correct.
was subsequent.
After we finish with this photograph.
And I'm talking about you, I'll come back to Mr. Botha. You did not handle any of the exhibits or objects on the scene but for seizing the ammunition pouch and the magazine and the firearm,
Not the firearm.
not the firearm.
I didn't handle the firearm. It's only the magazine holster, and yes, the ammunition within the magazine.
Yes. Apart from that, you did not touch anything.
I didn't touch anything. I didn't remove anything else.
Because my understanding is that you understood at the time, because of your experience, how important it was not to interfere with the scene.
That's correct.
I also asked you during the adjournment to take your time and again read through your statements, the two statements, I handed up as exhibit GG and HH. Did you do so? Have you done it?
Yes, I've read through it. Yeah.
Anything that you want to bring to the court's attention in regard to your first statement? Now
Regarding
that you've read it again?
Yes, regarding my first statement, maybe they can start. If one reads the first statement, my lady,
Which paragraph would that be?
that will be page 2, paragraph 6.
Yes.
That's exhibit GG.
Exhibit GG, my lady.
Paragraph 6, I started the sentence, I went to the body covered with brown towels were laid at the beginning of the staircase. That was not only brown towels, the color of the towels, it differ. And also there was the black plastic bags. Also noted.
Okay. Apart from that,
Okay, apart from that, my lady, paragraph 7, the last sentence, page 2. According to my observations, he was very emotional.
must that change?
I said in the beginning was emotional.
No, you said very emotional. I corrected the interpreter.
Oh,
It was wrong.
that is-
Yeah.
Then just make sure that we have that one correct. Then, okay, that I didn't mention about the crying in my testimony, but he was crying. That was paragraph 8. Paragraph 8, I asked him when it was happening, he could not answer me and keep on crying.
What is it that you want to change?
Yeah, that's correct. This is
No,
that's
just trying to find out what you would want
Okay.
to change.
what- and then paragraph 9, my lady. I stated here, Ms. Stander collected the brown towels from a cabinet on the first floor and tried with Ms. Pistorius' assistant to stop the blood. That is the correct version. When I testify, I was not sure if she went up or who went up.
Who went up with her at that stage?
And yeah, that's in this paragraph, I said when I testified first, my lady, I first testified first. I was not sure who went up and collected the towels. But in my statement, I concur with what in my statement said that she said that she went up and collected towels.
Do you know who went with her, or was it before
No, I
you
don't
died?
know if Mr. Pistorius went with her. But that was before I arrived. That was before my arrival. And then another thing, my lady, is also paragraph 9, page 2. Let me just get the sentence of the second sentence. Yes, 1, 2, starting. Mr. Steenkamp called the emergency service. It's not Steenkamp, it's Stana.
Okay, you understand that, yes. Anything else?
Okay, moving to paragraph 10,
Yes.
page 3. The sentence starting, before entering the bathroom, I found the cartridge on the carpet, just entering the bathroom. So that is, I concur, this one, what was on the carpet, the entrance in the passage. That one is 100% correct.
I need to know what you want to change. Not
Well,
what
okay,
it's consistent.
just want to clarify.
I can't find the sentence.
Paragraph 10 on page 4, 10 continue.
Yes, I've got it. Thank you.
Then I said after that, I said, before entering the bathroom, I found the cartridge on the carpet, just just entering the bathroom, another cartridge inside, next to the basin, 2 cartridges. The 2 cartridges I was referring is to the one that you're entering to, and then the one just next to the basin. And then just quickly say, just entering the bathroom, another cartridge. Now that another cartridge, the one cartridge that's meaning is the cartridge at the bottom of the bath.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The cartridge at the bottom at the bath, and then your cartridge is, before you get the basin, the first cartridge you get, and then you go around, you go around the corner, then you get the other cartridge.
So are you saying, let me assist you, that when you said in your statement that you found 2 cartridges next to the basin, that's actually wrong?
It's one before the basin, yeah. It's next to the basin, but it's not at the basin itself.
But just one, and one was
Next
to
to
the
the one
bath.
is actually needed to the basin, one is actually before you get the basin.
So you say that's wrong to have said that next to the basin there were 2 cartridges?
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay, then we're going to the same paragraph, my lady. Last sentence, one was white colored. We're talking about the cell phones next to the 2 cell phones. One was white colored, and if I remember correctly, black colored. The cell phone is supposed to lie next to a pool of blood. Now, as indicated previously, my first interpretation about the cell phones, the 2 that was lying there, it looks like silver and the black one on top of one another. When we later discovered, we found the white one. Now, coming to the point where we're talking about next to one another, the white and black I remember. I remember 2 cell phones, and that was I was saying 2 cell phones. But in this paragraph, it actually means that it was together. But the white one was not there together with them. This was the black one that was split up. The white one was underneath the towel.
So you want to correct that?
That's correct.
Yes. Anything else?
Okay, then, yes, I stand as I can remember. I can't remember if there's blood on the cricket. That is right. That I concur. There's nothing else.
You're satisfied then?
I'm
Apart
satisfied.
from the changes, you're satisfied with
I'm
the correctness
satisfied
of your
with that.
statement? Colonel, you remember in the beginning of my cross-examination, I said to you that what you're doing in your testimony is to take the place of Hilton Botha to make him an unnecessary witness. You remember that?
Yes, I remember that already.
Now, let's start to look at your first statement. And we go to paragraph 10. Who went upstairs according to your paragraph 10?
Paragraph 10, I went through the house and determined that the blood trail was going up the stairs to the
Yes,
first floor. To
we
the
know
bedroom.
what is in the paragraph. Who, according to paragraph 10, went upstairs?
If it started when I went.
Where's Hilton Botha?
He was with me.
Now, where is he in your statement?
He was all
Going
the
with
time.
you.
I'm confessing the whole time that he was with me.
Do you follow my question?
When you write a statement, I talk I,
Yes.
meaning that I was busy doing it.
And if I'm going with Hilton Botha, how do I talk then? What do I write in my statement?
Not consequently to the whole statement, you will talk about we and I. When sometimes when you write I, meaning from the beginning he was with.
Where do you say that you went up with Hilton Botha? Show it to me, please.
There's not standing in this paragraph, Your Honor.
It's nowhere. True?
That is true.
Let me help you. You went up, and what you did, and you can read your statement afterwards, and again and again. You saw the blood spatter, you went up, you followed the blood spatter into the bathroom, and you came down again. That's what you did. You can look at your statement. Read again and see if I'm correct and if I'm fair in what I put to you.
This is according to the statement,
Yes.
but it is not what it happened. When the warrant officer Botha went with me.
Let me help you. We also have a copy of Warrant Officer Botha's statement. I don't know if it's the truth. It's been given to us by the state. And what the contents are the truth. But what is definite on, and that was also at the bail application, when he arrived, Mr. Pistorius was in the garage. We take note of that.
I've got a copy of that statement. Or
Now, you can accept what I say, Mr. Nell would stand up and tell me that's wrong. When he arrived, Mr. Pistorius was in the garage. That means only one thing, that your statement, your first statement is correct, that you went up and not you and the first time, no, not you and Mr. Hilton Botha.
no, it's not correct.
Is it correct that when you came back after being upstairs, that Mr. Pistorius was still in the kitchen?
When I went up and I came back, I was still in the kitchen. That is correct.
When did he move to the garage?
That is correct.
After that?
He was moved after I came back. He was moved to the garage,
Yes, he was in the kitchen.
and then he was moved to the garage.
Yes, and that is, if you look at Mr. Botha's statement, that is when he arrived. He found, upon his arrival, he found Mr. Pistorius and explains the interaction. He found Mr. Pistorius in the garage. Any comment?
That's not what happened. When he arrived, me and him went
Yes.
up together.
That's just but you agree that that would accord with your statement.
That's
That he
it's
was not
contradiction.
there when you went up. That would accord.
He was there when I went up from the first time. I didn't
Yeah.
went up alone.
I know my question is different. You would agree that it accords with your first statement
Mhm.
that Mr. Botha was not there and he only arrived when Mr. Pistorius was in the garage.
No, it's not indicated in the statement where Botha was.
Yes.
That's all.
Well, we'll take it a further step. You spoke about Mr. Sabete.
That's correct.
The state also disclosed, if it's the truth, the contents, also disclosed his statement to us. I will read to you some of the contents of his statement and then invite you to respond thereto. So one is that he received information about the shooting at the house of Mr. Pistorius at 3:30 in the morning. Would you like to comment on that?
That he arrived at the house at 3:30.
No, he received information about a shooting.
Well, that is, yeah. I didn't talk to him, so it could have been him that received the call.
The second part is I immediately rushed to the scene of the crime together with Constable Khoza. Would you like to comment?
He could have followed us. He was not with me and Constable Prinsloo.
And when he arrived, the paramedics were still busy with Ms. Steenkamp, the deceased. They were still busy with it, working on it. That's before you.
Contradiction is not true.
Where were the paramedics when you arrived?
They was in the house and they was coming out to me. They already attended to to the body.
And then I want to read the second part of his statement, this paragraph 4. I proceeded to the upper building. Where I noticed droplets of blood come from the upper building upstairs.
Amazing. I say amazing
What is amazing?
because he didn't went up there. He was not before me on the crime scene.
Well, let's read. And I found go to just bear with me. And I found blood and a firearm, stainless 9mm Taurus in the main bathroom. What was the firearm that was in the main bathroom?
Yeah, that's a Taurus
What was the color?
in silver.
What do you say about that?
And the only explanation that I can give to my lady is that he got information and he wrote his statement, A1 statement on hearsay. He was not in the vault.
Yes.
He was not on the first floor.
You must
at all.
maybe bear in mind that I may read to you a further statement by another witness when you answer. Just keep that in mind.
I'll do that.
I'm just busy with the first one. And 4 cartridges. Would that be consistent with yours?
That's correct, my lady.
Was lying around in the bathroom. And the main bathroom, the toilet door was broken.
That's can concur.
That
with what-
observation would be correct if it was an observation.
It's just a broad explanation.
The following members attend the scene. Colonel van Rensburg, Detective, looks like Captain Maluleke, Captain van der Merwe, looks like Detective Sergeant something Chauke, Detective also ranked Mashingi, Warrant Officer Botman, and Constable Prinsloo. Would he be accurate in his names?
The only one that I can vouch as accurate, me, Warrant Officer Burke was there.
Yes.
Captain Maruleke was there, but he's outside the crime scene. He didn't enter the crime scene. He, Sabeta, he was there. I saw him. And Constable Prinsloo was driving with me. That I concur. Mashishi and Chauke was there after my arrival. After we secured the crime scene, they was utilized as to make sure that the first barrier was not crossed into the house. But none of them entered the house before.
Yes. I'm going to read to you again, assuming the correctness of the contents, another statement disclosed to the defense found in a police docket by Mr. Maluleke. I'm trying to get his rank as a captain.
That's correct, yes.
You know him?
Yes, I know.
And he says that he arrived at the scene about 4:50.
I can't ask for the time. I don't know how late you did it, right?
But of course,
More or
he's
less,
uncertain about his times as well. He talks about interaction downstairs that I'm not going to waste time with. And then I went upstairs. That's paragraph 7. I then went upstairs and found Colonel van Rensburg, who pointed out the scene to me.
That's after.
Yes, we'll get to, because he's going to give us an event that will tell us when it passed. But you say it's after. And he tells us about his observations. And then he says, I further saw an Oakley cabinet with sunglasses and 6 watches. Take note.
Hopefully,
And then he says, while at the scene, I want to read it again, that's paragraph 9. While at the scene, Warrant Officer Hilton Botha came, and then I must just ask assistance. And it looked like, and she and the colonel, she and the colonel, and pointed out the scene to him, it seems. So we know, according to statements of persons at the scene upstairs. And we know that according to the statements read, it was before Mr. Botha went upstairs. What do you say about that?
As I indicated, my lady, I was on the crime scene. I went up with Warrant Officer Botha the first time. We went with Warrant Officer Verstaden the second time. Nobody else entered that crime scene except us. After the forensics arrived, Captain Maluleke did arrive, but it was not before. He's the detective commander. He was as well on the crime scene the previous night, and I had to inform him because he's detective commander and he's in charge of detectives. And at that point, we have a discussion about who's going to take further manage this crime scene. And then he said, while I was there, the first person, you will not interfere. I must continue with the crime scene. So we withdraw. We totally withdraw and we take the other crime scene and continue with the other investigations and his normal duties. He was not there before I was there. Sabeta and I can't remember the other constable's name now. They was not standing off there before me. I was the first vehicle with Constable Prinsloo standing off there. And very easy. I don't know if the investigation do it. Each police vehicle's got the AVL system. And on the AVL system indicates the correct coordinates when time frames a vehicle is moving where. So the court is more than happy can request that type of evidence.
I ask the assistants to show us photo 492. That is a photo on 14th February, 1438. .492. Oops. Would that represent the sealing of the door?
That was on that's a photo of how we sealed it on 40.
Sorry,
That is correct, lady.
can you specifically remember that?
That is correct.
It accords with your memory.
That is correct.
Was that the type of tape used? You spoke about tape that it cordoned off and then on the door.
The cordon off, but if you go get a closer look to the door, my lady, you will see the seals as well there, and we locked the doors. If you go get a closer look to the door, we seal it with a forensic seal, and we locked it with the key of the door.
Then I show you photo 496. What is it that you see there?
That is correct. That was what you did.
That's on the same day. Still accord with your memory?
That's correct, yes.
That's how you left it.
Yes.
How do you feel about your ability to observe?
Ability to observe. Let's say, yeah, well, I attended a lot of crime scenes. I've maybe a bit average.
Because it was quite remarkable in your evidence that you walked through and you could say that what's on a photo was the same as that morning that you saw. But for one or two little things that you excluded.
That's correct, yes.
So would you say that you developed that good or sharp ability to make good observations?
One thing that it also depends on one's personality, my lady. If certain things interested me more than other things, you actually focus more. Naturally focus more onto that certain things. Other things less important to you, not important to you, less that you've been less interested in. You do not focus on that.
You were concerned about the securing of the scene.
Yes, I was.
That's important.
That is.
Is the door sealed in the same way this photo as the previous photo?
It can differ. It can differ because it can differ. Not exactly the same crosses and everything. We started to utilize my lady must remember, Thursday when we left, the blood analyst, Lieutenant Colonel van der Nest, was still not there. So that is a very important evidence to us. The second day.
Now we're talking about the first day.
Yeah, the Thursday. That is what we did. The second day, we also sealed the doors again and we locked the doors again. But the sealing differs. The sealing intent of this cross banner that you see there.
We're talking about the first day.
Okay.
What you did not pick up, that there was a difference in sealing between the two photos. You were satisfied that it was the same. That's why I specifically asked you the question. You did not pick it up. That's what I put to you. Will you accept that? I can take you back to it and show you all the difference.
Yes, please.
You see the big cross on 4596 on the bottom? 3 crosses. You see that?
What? Yes, I see that.
And you can look at photo 492.
There's less crosses. There is a difference. I
Look at it.
see that.
Is sealing the same?
No, it's not the same.
It's quite different.
Quite different.
You did not pick it up.
No, I didn't pick it up.
I want to show you photo 515. And before we get there, it will be shown to you.
Okay,
Colonel.
yeah, I just want to be careful because you switching the screen quickly, you can't really check it.
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
Sorry, my lady. The screen is moving from one to another. So if you're talking about observation closely, there's not a time to compare the two photos together. They're not next to one another. So you see it in the back of your mind and you see it across and you see this thing and then it moves over to the next screen, then it's not compared. It's one photo at a time.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yes,
So if I can see the two photos together to one to another, then I will make a comment.
We'll get back to that, okay? The keys. Could you just explain the locking of the door and the keys that you testified about?
Sorry, but I don't understand the question.
Now, forget about the photo first.
No, I don't understand the question about the locking, the key.
Can you remember your evidence about the key when you locked the door, secured the area?
Yeah, we locked it up.
Who locked it?
As I said, the guard that was present as well as warrant officer for staff.
Did you lock it?
I didn't lock it.
Did you observe the locking?
I was standing next to them while it was locked.
All I want to really ask you there, it's not an observation test, is this. If you look at 515, how many keys do you see there?
There is the one that is in the lock, and then there is, it seems like one hanging after the white key holder, key marker.
Can you remember which keys were those?
No.
To which doors?
No.
Then if I may ask assistants, I just want to get to the bedroom, if I may ask for an image 856. Image 856. It is in the files, original files, in that ledger. Mark oorspronklik. Let me ask for a very short adjournment just to show him which image it is on the computer. It would just be a 5-minute to save time, not to let you sit here.
Court will adjourn. Yes, Mr. Rowe.
Thank you, my lady. Colonel, before the adjournment, I was trying to find out how to understand the veracity of photos taken at the scene. You know, when it's truly reflecting the scene, or when it was now changed after investigation. You remember that?
That's correct, my lady.
And what I saw in all fairness, of course, I take it to photo 69. Photo 69. That's photo album 69. It says, when there's a duvet, it then tells us that there was interference. It says, photo taken on 14 February 2013, duvet cover spread open by main bedroom, so that whoever looks at the photo will know there's a change. That's not a scene photo, but it's something else. There is some action to that photo. There was some change to the object. You see that?
I see that, my lady.
However, when I go to 109 and I think of the person I'm looking at this photo, what do you see then? It says, photo taken, cell phone. I would have thought it should say, cell phone open to be visible. To give a fair reflection, not so?
I agree, my lady.
One thing I missed you on, and I apologize, was on the A1 statement that you explained the general nature of that. You said it was A1 statement was the first.
Yeah, my lady, the A1 statement. When we talk about the A1 says the first investigation of crime, the person that is complainant in this case for the state. That is normally the first person that appeared on a crime scene. And that is referring to the A1 statement.
I didn't understand. You know what's the A1 statement in this matter?
I don't know, I assume, and I say I assume Sergeant Sabeta.
Yes. It's an A1 statement, first person scene. That would accord with the statement, not so.
That is what I'm saying. I'm contradicting what he's saying. He was not there first.
You will accept his statement as marked A1.
No, I will not accept. He was not actually the A1.
No,
I was the A1.
The question is different. Will you accept that his statement is marked A1? Must I show you?
No, I don't know if it's marked A1. I didn't see.
I'm not going to hand it in. It's just that you can trust it on. It's a marked one, so you can just read the number of the name on the statement and then what number was allocated to.
My lady, it stands A1.
Back. The statement was also made before you made your statement. It's the 16th at 10 o'clock. It's before you.
I don't know what he's telling me.
These articles that you seized on the 14th, just to get back, when did you seize them?
Meaning time-wise?
Yes.
No, I don't have a time frame. We as I indicated, the photographer, warrant officer van Staden recovered it, and then he handed it to me. So then I safeguarded, and then when we went to the station, we handed it.
Why ask you photos about the keys? And I will ask him just to get that back. The photos of the keys. It is 515, just to refresh your memory. And 544 is this. There are 3 doors, a front door with a small key, and then with a bigger iron key for a side door and a back door at the house. You follow?
Yes.
And you remember that?
No, I didn't handle the keys, my lady.
Yes. Now, we see the front door and one of the keys.
Is it one key? I think I see 2 keys.
May I go back to 515, my lady, just to take it step by step?
Yes.
The front door key and one of the keys. It's the short, small key and then hanging behind one key.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I might have expressed myself not properly. My lady. And in 544, on the 16th of February, we see two big keys. We can't see in the photo the small key, but we see it. And I'm trying to find out what happened on the 14th to one of the, either the back door key or the side door key. Who kept that?
This was on the 16th.
I know in the 16th. I'm talking about the 14th.
I can't.
You don't know.
On the 14th. Can't.
If you look at take it to the watches, the photo that depicts the watches. I think it's 55. Yeah, go to 55. You can just you will see that there were in fact 9 wristwatches. This is on the screen there, it's maybe a bit clearer.
Yeah, the other one was not really visible. The one in the corner is not visible.
Yeah. One was removed by his sister to give to him.
There was 8 watches in the box, and 1 watch lying on
Yes.
the desk. There's not 9 watches.
Yeah, 2 went missing.
In the box.
Now, one in the box.
That is the 2 that's not missing. This one we accounted for, as the accused sister took this one. This one is the one that went missing.
And the one on top of the cabinet.
That one, I don't know about it.
It's also missing.
I was not informed about it. Nobody informed me about it.
I can't see that. Oh, okay.
Let me see it here.
Yes, thank you very much.
If I may ask you to go to photo 157. Can you see what's on the back, not for the tattooing, on the back of Mr. Pistorius?
Yeah, that was a
Kinesiotape.
red tape for injuries. You normally.
Did you see it that evening?
That's
Did you ask?
correct.
That morning?
That was there, man.
Of course, he will say that he had a problem and he received treatment for his shoulder.
Okay, I don't know about the trouble, the problem, but I know it was on his
Yes.
back. That I saw.
And why I'm asking you, because I see that Mr. Botha was kind enough to give interviews and he was talking about the bloody shirt of Mr. Pistorius that morning that he had on. What do you say about that?
No, but there was no bloody shirt. It was bare,
Was he all the time without the shirt on?
without the shirt.
I refer to pluckies for some people to understand it's the flops or the flip-flops or the slops. I see that there are photos of that in different positions. We'll show you now. We'll come up. Do you see this? Now this next one. Do you see them there? It's different.
Yes, I noticed already.
And then a photo taken again. How does it work? I'm not sure with crime scenes. I would have thought that you take pictures of how it was preserved and what a scene should look like. You see that they're very different in that photo, the previous photo.
They're different in a way that we found it as we arrived at crime scene.
I
Yes.
think the next photo. You can go on. You see again,
This,
different standing next to your back and then kind of picture taken of that.
and this photo, the back was also, when we arrived, the back was on the couch. On the,
And the next photo,
this is different as we found it.
and the next photo. Oh, who is that? On that photo.
That was me,
You.
my lady.
What are you doing, Colonel?
We was the carpets. We was looking at the linkage of the cable. The cable of the fan.
You were working with the cable of the fan.
We was looking at the linkage of the cable of the fan.
And can you see you also pulling, if you can brighten it up, pulling the curtain?
Pulling the curtain.
Yes.
No, I was not pulling the curtain. I was sitting on the ground there, my lady.
You're working with the cable, the fan.
That's correct.
Doing what?
As I indicated, checking the linkage of the cable.
But I was asking you specifically, Colonel, about your involvement.
My,
Not touching and apart from seizing things.
my lady, this is not the first series of photos that was taken after warrant officer Pistorius arrived on the scene.
What were you doing there?
As I indicated, I was checking the cable, the linkage to the cable. And that is after the photos was taken. You can also see this other stuff lying on the table. So the first initial photos that was taken of the scene was already taken. This is the continuing of the investigation.
Can you see in that photo, it's quite dark in the bedroom?
Yeah, I can see that, yes.
And can you see only a little bit of light coming through the window, the curtain?
I can't say it's coming from the window. There is a light there, but there is a small
You
light.
look properly,
there.
just you see a little bit of light there.
On the right-hand corner, yes.
Yes. Of course, if the curtains were open or more open, there would, a lot of light would be coming in.
That's correct.
Yes, and it was not in that photo. It is contrary to an open curtain. It's a more closed curtain.
This photo, yeah. It's contrary to open. If the open curtain would be open. Or light
I think
shining.
we're saying it's contrary to an open curtain. It's rather a more closed curtain.
Yeah, this is a rather close curtain.
Who closed the curtain?
I don't know who closed the curtain.
You see, my lady, the first step that a mistake, that those were photos made available to us by the police, but what we will have to in this print them, it's only on connected now and make them available as a separate exhibit.
Yes.
We will take steps over the weekend, my lady, to do that.
Thank you very much.
And then I think once I have them available, we can mark them accordingly to get the color prints. You see, Mr. Pistorius that morning brought the fans in, but they were working. They were operating because the aircon was broken and the fans were working and operating, turning. And what we're trying to establish is who interfered with the fans. Can you assist us?
Interfering with the fans, as I see when you entered the first time, my lady, the fan was off. When I'm talking about the fan, I'm talking about this metallic silver fan was off. The black fan that was standing in the corner, he was unplugged. And that is how we found it. If in that photo, as you indicated on this screen, that was after the scene as we continue the investigation. So that was not interference with any plug. That is part and parcel of the further investigation.
But it's still dark in the room there.
As I said, that was after
Yes.
the first photos was taken.
We're just trying to establish you interfered with the fans. All we know is that you had something to do. I'm not saying early morning. At that point, you were working with the cable of the fan.
That's correct.
By the way, when I showed you the photo, the image photo, to ask you if you could see anything different, you said that the fan was moved. You remember?
That's correct.
Do you know who moved the fan?
No, I don't know who moved the fan. But again, that was photo taken after.
Yes, I understand. But we want the scene to be preserved. We try to find out who moved the fan.
The lady, the scene was preserved for the original photos that were taken. And as soon as that original photo was taken, the investigation started. So then you move stuff to complete your investigation.
Why do you take then pictures when you move it? To show what?
You
And
take,
not right at the bottom, new position of fan like duvet spread open by me.
I can't comment.
Friends, I am about to get up, walk around, move me bums, and take a brain break. I've put a poll up of what to watch next. Judge Simpson is doing Landlord Tenant, which obviously I love. Haven't seen if Fleischer's live yet. No, I don't think he is just yet. And then I was watching last night, I was watching a divorce court trial, which seems okay. There is a little bit of conversation about about some child stuff, but it's not bad. The guy on the stand is police captain. I've forgotten his name. He's in the investigation. Okay, I'm going to close up this poll. 6 votes, and there are 17 people watching. So I'm going to give a few more minutes. But I think we are all probably kind of losing focus on the Oscar side. I'll give until 10 to, so that's 6 minutes.
On what the photographer did there. I can comment on what I saw when I entered, and that is what I saw.
You know what is also significant, Colonel, with respect? There was a different reason why I showed you that image. And the only difference you could find what you observed was the position of the fan that it moved. It was also plucked out. You didn't see it.
No, I didn't.
That's the point that I'm making to you. It is fine for you to come to court and to say, what I saw is exactly what's on the photo. And you've done it many times. And that's why I tested you every time. To say, but it cannot be. You can say, those were the pictures taken, but I had a walkthrough. I can't say it was exactly like that. You have to show me times. And it's difficult for me to see because I see many things. That would have been a more fair answer. That's all I'm going to do.
It is true, Marelli, if you enter even this room, you observe certain things. You don't deserve notice everything. Yes. But there's certain things that you do remember on that particular scene or that particular room. As I indicated several times when we was working outside, is the things that's important to me, the things that I concentrate on, that is the one things that I remember. Other things that is out of my scope of interest, I do not focus on. That is what, when we talk about the clock is, as we mentioned it, this is one thing that I really focused on, and that is why I remember it. So small things I really remember. Bigger pictures, sideline. For instance, we're talking about the other watch that was lying on the hi-fi stand. I didn't notice that one. This one with the expensive watches that has been boxed, in my opinion, that was the focus of my view.
I fully understand. My problem was just the language used, and I accept it was following a question put you in that fashion. But to say that when you see a photo, it was exactly the same, the scene, that you cannot do. You cannot say it's exactly the same because you didn't see everything. You can maybe point out some of the things, but you can't say that photo is exactly what I saw.
Exactly the points that I focus on, that is the things that I saw. The focus that I pointed, that I took at the night photos, that is the things that I
understand you spoke about the focus.
That's right.
I only have one difficulty with the one question put you on. Granted, it was a question. That is exactly what you saw, and you said yes. You don't mean that what you saw was everything on that photo.
All the small nitty-gritty, some of the small nitty-gritty, and some of the things that I didn't focus on, that I can't say that I see everything.
Even some of the bigger things you did not see.
Some maybe in the contents of that was not focus on. That can be true as well.
Yeah, maybe smaller things, it may be bigger things, it may be a combination of them that you did not see.
That I agree on.
Just bear with me for a moment.
Is my mic still on? Yes. This is a good time to take a break. So I'm going to portal you over. Hang tight. We are going to another stream. You will automatically redirect there, or you can click the little go now thing. But I will send us there. So give me 1 sec to jump in on that side, and I'll see you there.